ECG cautions customers in parts of Accra as it undertakes major transformer replacements and upgrades. I am Christabel Success Treve. Now the details. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has conducted coordinated court-authorized search operations at 5 fuel depots and associated premises of Bulk Distribution Company. The raid forms part of an ongoing investigation into suspected petroleum sector fraud. The operation, carried out across multiple locations, targeted an alleged scheme involving the under-declaration of petroleum imports, falsification of product types during depot transfers, and tax evasion. According to a post on the OSP's official X page, preliminary findings suspect collusion between certain BDCs and officials within the Natural Petroleum Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, and the National Security Secretariat. The scheme is also believed to have involved intermediaries facilitating illicit financial transfers. The entities under investigation include Platinum Oil, Gas Limited, Central Oil, Aquaba Oil, Sahara Oil, Gas Limited, and Chase Petroleum Ghana Limited. The OSP confirmed that the searches have been executed with documents and electronic materials seized to support the investigation. It also disclosed that several persons of interest are currently in custody. The anti-corruption body noted that investigations are ongoing and assured that further updates will be provided as the case develops. The investigation remains ongoing. Further updates will follow, the OSP said in a post on its X page. Now, residents across parts of Accra are being advised to brace themselves for temporary power interruptions as the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, rolls out a major transformer upgrade aimed at stabilizing electricity supply in the capital. The 240 million cedi investment will see the replacement of aging transformers across 8 substations.
Manjo, Bachuna, and Lashibi will be upgraded from 20 to 30 MVA. The capacity boost ECG says will significantly reduce overload that have long burdened these communities. According to ECG, the intervention is designed to meet increasing electricity demand driven by urban growth and industrial activity in the capital, while positioning the power network to serve Accra reliably for the next 3 decades.
We are doing this project just to increase capacity at the substation, to increase reliability, to improve efficiency in such that customers within the enclave will enjoy reliable supply, very good voltage, and so also in prepared to get new customers connected onto the substation. You know, this place is a fast-growing area, and that we are wants to be very ready anytime that any household, any entity, any company that is ready to connect to power supply will have enough capacity to supply those homes. For us to minimize the impacts, we've developed a program, 4 groups of program, where each customer is going to just experience 6 hours of outage during the period of this work.
The company acknowledges the inconvenience the exercise may cause, but insists the long-term gains far outweigh the temporary disruptions. ECG has published a detailed schedule on its official channels and is urging communities to plan accordingly.
The frequent outages and transformer overloads should be a thing of the past. This is the first phase. We will also move to other substations where these exercises will take place. It's also to inform our customers that we do appreciate their patience as we undertake this exercise. Of course, there are going to be some disruptions, some outages due to this exercise. We apologize for the inconvenience, but we hope that after this exercise, our customers would enjoy very reliable power.
The upgrade follows renewed government focus on strengthening power infrastructure with assurances that consistent and reliable electricity remains a top priority.
Indigenous mining firm engineers and planners came tops as the highest scoring bidder for the Damine mine takeover. The tender committee has recommended the grant of the mining lease to the company after it scored 93.15% in a competitive bidding process conducted by the Minerals Commission.
Goldfields Ghana Limited, which has operated in the country since its incorporation in 1993, currently holds a 90% stake in its mining operations, while the government of Ghana retained a 10% free carried interest in line with Section 43 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006. According to the report, 4 companies responded to the public tender announced in the media. Out of these, 2 firms, Engineers and Planners Limited and Heath Goldfields, were shortlisted by the Minerals Title Department of the Minerals Commission and subsequently submitted to the tender committee for detailed assessment. Secretary of the committee, Joseph Kofi Roko, explained the rationale for the recommendation of Engineers and Planners.
And then when you go to technical and engineering experience, you will see that disparity in the bank. EMP demonstrated clearly that they were up to, or they had the experience to be able to do the job, as opposed to Heath Goldfields 18.4%. When it comes to methodology and work plan, we scored EMP 9 out of 10, Heath Goldfields 6.2 out of 10. On the qualification, EMP had 9.6, Heath Goldfields had 9.2. You will see that it was a close mark in the sense that these are all entities in the mining sector, so they all have the same or have similar qualified professionals. So that's why the score is a bit close. And the requirement was that you must show evidence that you have access to funding in excess of 500 million USD. EMP demonstrated that by documentation that showed that at least Stanbic and APSA have committed to funding the operations to the tune of 5 million USD. Based on the requirements, the guidelines published, EMP met all the requirements, they satisfied the mandatory requirements, they met, able to demonstrate that they had the technical and financial capability to be able to run the operations of the mine when it is given to them.
Chairman of the committee, Innocent Marcus Haliga, indicated that the process went through high standards of transparency.
Based on Regulation 2621C of LI 2176, which says that preparation of a report on the we are at the stage of Regulation 263 of LI 2176, where there will be a transmission of the report to the minister. On receipt of the report of the tender committee, the commission shall recommend to the minister to grant the mineral rights to the successful tenderer.
The Damine mine is expected to benefit from renewed investment and operational oversight should the recommendation be approved.
Meanwhile, government has approved Engineers and Planners Limited as a successful bidder for the Damine mining lease. A report submitted to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources by the Minerals Commission's tender committee says the indigenous mining firm recorded the highest evaluated score among 4 competing companies. According to the committee, Engineers and Planners met all the mandatory requirements, showed proof of access to at least $500 million in financing, and demonstrated the technical and operational capacity to run the mine. The committee also cited the company's proposals to extend the life of the Damine mine beyond 10 years as part of its strength. The minister has since approved the recommendation and directed the commission to begin the necessary regulatory steps to complete the process. Away from that, from telemedicine consultations in remote communities to expanded laboratory testing, science is gradually reshaping patient care and improving service delivery in Ghana. However, findings show that these gains are not evenly distributed across the country. Health authorities are calling for stronger investment in science, research and innovation to improve health outcomes. Here's a report by Sarah Apenkro.
Ghana's healthcare system is believed to be experiencing a quiet but broader shift, one driven by science, innovation and collaboration. Across several health facilities, new medical equipment, digital health records, and improved diagnostic services are helping clinicians make faster and more accurate decisions. The FDA is one of the outfits in the country making waves.
Registration of our products and regulation. We've deployed what we call the GFM, which is a regulatory information management system. And with that system, it is allowing us to go paperless. So now with all our regulatory functions, if you want to register a product, everything is done online. And we are also talking with our development partners so that we'll be able to deploy AI-assisted tools so that instead of using long manual time to evaluate and assess the documents we receive from our client, we'll be able to use shorter times.
The World Health Organization country representative to Ghana, Dr. Fiona Braka, on the occasion of the World Health Day, is urging policymakers to prioritize evidence-based investments to build health security and drive national development.
We are raising our voices to join Ghana, to join the world in celebrating these achievements, but also calling on the government to continue to support these initiatives through financing, domestic financing. We are also raising our advocacy to call on partners to continue to support Ghana in these efforts, and we are calling also on frontline workers to continue the great work that you are doing to make sure that every Ghanaian has access to quality services.
Some facilities continue to face staff shortages, limited bed capacity, and delays in accessing specialized care, affecting timely treatment for many patients.
As a government, we must support these innovators by creating enabling environment through smart procurement system, responsive regulations, and stronger investment pathways that allow promise innovation to scale across the country.
Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark World Health Day under the theme Together for Health, Stand with Science.
Now, for many Ghanaians, especially young people, HIV self-testing has become a preferred option because it offers privacy, convenience, and quick results. But the health authorities are raising concerns about counterfeit HIV test kits reported on the Nigerian market, warning they would undermine Ghana's HIV control efforts if they find their way into the country.
HIV self-testing is increasingly becoming popular, particularly among individuals who prefer to avoid the stigma often associated with visiting testing centers. Many people choose to purchase the kits outside hospitals, relying on the results to make critical decisions about their health. But health experts warn that counterfeit kits could produce false negative results, giving users a false sense of reassurance or false positives that may cause unnecessary panic and emotional distress. Recent reports indicate a number of fake testing kits identified on the Nigerian market. Gains made by government in controlling HIV infections could be threatened if these fake kits enter the Ghanaian market.
We expect people to take notes of those batch numbers. You know, we gave clearly the names, photographs and everything, so that if they are going for such tests, it is their right to find out from the lab the type of diagnostic they are using. That is why we cannot take consumer education out. It doesn't matter the barriers we built, the efforts we put in. Consumers should be well educated. So if you have a well educated consumer, even if the product slips through, that consumer will become the final barrier to alert us.
The FDA says it is intensifying surveillance at entry points and working with stakeholders to prevent any influx of counterfeit kits into the country.
In addition to the alert we released, we've communicated with healthcare professionals, institutions, and all places that they find, they return them to us. So it is like as we are informing the population, at the same time, behind the scenes, we take all measures to pick any available one so that it is not even used on the population. There are so many ports in Ghana. FDA does not sit at all the border towns. And if you have visited any of border towns, we even have people living in Ghana. Their farms are in Togo. So movement of these products can easily happen.
As regulators work to prevent the entry of the counterfeit HIV test kits, the message remains clear.
The FDA says the fake testing kits are not yet on the Ghanaian market, but the general public is hereby cautioned to look out for the original test kits at the various pharmacies across the country to ensure the accurate result is what you are getting for proper health care. TV3 News, Accra.
Patrons of intercity coaches may soon have to pay more following the issuance of a less than 24-hour ultimatum by VIP Transport to government to reduce fuel prices or face a 25% fare increment. Meanwhile, other transport unions have suspended the implementation of new fares, awaiting President Mahama's meeting with Cabinet on Thursday, April 9.
Demands for fare increments by transport unions have intensified following recent upward adjustments in fuel prices. The surge in fuel prices has largely been attributed to the ongoing America-Israel-Iran tensions, which have disrupted global oil supply. This situation, coupled with rising prices of spare parts, is mounting pressure on transport operators who are now seeking to pass on the cost to commuters. At the Equal Business Forum, President Mahama announced plans to engage cabinet on the matter. On Tuesday, April 7, 2026, representatives from the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, GRTCC, and VIP Joint Transport met the Transport Minister behind closed doors to deliberate on the proposed fare adjustments. General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Ohini Yeboah, told journalists that the unions have agreed to hold off on implementing new fares until after the cabinet meeting.
We'll tell the unions to hold their fire for a while and let's talk to the ministry. Because we have always done this and we get a good results.
The transport unions have, however, urged the government to consider scrapping some taxes on fuel, which they say contribute significantly to the current price build-up.
We have actually tabled a number of proposals, including taking off some taxes so that we bring the price down. But once it comes and there's a way of, you had a way of dealing with it and bringing the fuel price down. So I have no justification increasing transport. As for us, all that we need is that the fuel price is within the rate that we can work and make our profits.
However, patrons of VIP Joint Transport nationwide will have to pay 25% more from Wednesday, April 8, 2026. General Manager of VIP Joint Transport at the Cabre Frimpong Manson justified the decision.
Yes, it is true that we have announced price increases, and those price increases are on the board. We will still await what the president has got to tell us. But then what we have already announced, it stands. Until tomorrow morning, you can tell. We have said that 07 hours, Wednesday 18th, there's a new transport fare. So come there, see what you pay.
According to him, the increment is long overdue and should have taken effect as far back as March last year.
These fares were supposed to kick in March 2025. And then at the instance of the transport minister, we stood it down. We suspended those prices. So it has been there for 1 year. And we should not forget that the trajectory of the price increase of VIP, the fares were last increased in April 2024 for 2 years. What is in Ghana that is 10 cedis 2 years ago, that it remains 10 cedis 2 years later? In real terms, is it still 10 cedis? So let's see what happens.
With government set to engage cabinet on the matter, commuters and transport operators alike will be keenly watching for a possible intervention to stabilize fuel prices and avert widespread fare increases across the country. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
The New Patriotic Party, NPP, has called on Ghanaians to hold President Mahama and his government accountable over their double standards regarding LGBTQ+ issues. A proponent of the bill, John Ntim Fojo, says any attempt to deprioritize the matter smacks of deception and insists there must be an apology. Christian Yali reports from the NPP headquarters.
The New Patriotic Party, NPP, says the NDC is playing mind games with Ghanaians concerning LGBTQ+ activities in the country. The party is of the view that the strong stance taken by NDC back in opposition has suddenly changed into mere rhetoric upon assuming office. Lead proponent of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, John Ntim Fojo, says the lip service must stop now.
For years, the NDC weaponized the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, using it as a political tool to deceive eminent clergy, our imams, our revered traditional leaders, and the good people of Ghana. The moment the NDC assumed power in 2025, the narrative began to change. The strong rhetoric of opposition was quickly replaced by procedural caution. Faced with the realities of governance, including risks to the World Bank and IMF funding, as well as constitutional challenges, the NDC government moved from push bill at all costs to manage how it is introduced and structured.
And now he says the president is presenting different narratives to Ghanaians and international bodies. He says he must realign his priorities to what he used to say back in opposition.
On March 31st, 2026, President Mahama made a shocking declaration during his engagement with civil society groups at the Jubilee House. He stated that this government remains focused on, quote, basic needs, and that the bill, which seeks to clip the wings of LGBTQ activities, is no longer a priority. President Mahama has been playing a dangerous double game. While promising Ghanaians at home that he supports the bill in principle, he travels abroad and sings a completely different tune. Standing before the American institutions, his certainty dissolves into procedural language.
Ntim Fojo says NDC has now shown its true colors. His demands are that the party, together with the president, must apologize to the clergy and Ghanaians. He's urging the speaker, together with majority leader, to ensure the swift passage of the reintroduced bill.
The NDC and President John Dramani Mahama must apologize to the Christian Council, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, GPCC, and all other ecumenical bodies, the office of the Chief Imam, for the double standards and contradictory priorities demonstrated between the period in opposition and now in power. Additionally, we call on the clergy, our Muslim clerics, communal bodies, traditional rulers, the civil society organizations to call out the NDC and President John Dramani Mahama on their U-turn on LGBT issues to maintain their spirited advocacy for the passage of the pending bill and for President Mahama to sign same into law as soon as it is passed.
The NPP says it is a conservative party, and so they will stand true to their ideals and what they have always believed. Christian Yali, TV3 News, NPP headquarters, Accra.
Well, that's it for News Morning here on TV3. We will be back after the short break. I am Christabel Success Trevor. TV3 Newday continues.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, We spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini. The reason why we have all the shareholders as well as all the patrons of 4 Points by Sheraton right here in Accra, making sure that they provide the best exquisite as well as customized service for all their customers as well as patrons. You know, they have everything. You call it banqueting, conferencing, you want room reservations, you want daily customer briefings on flight bookings, the latest updates around the world, everything concerning Sheraton, 4 Point by Sheraton, where you can stay not only right here in this prestigious hotel, a 100-room facility that they have, but also the connecting hotels as well as franchises they have around the world, and the airlines connecting it as well right here, 4 Points by Sheraton in Accra.
And indeed, the word is exquisite, which is exactly what you use.
How do you say that in French? Because you're a good French speaker.
No, let me think about that.
Okay.
But that's the word this morning, exquisite.
Exquisite.
And you've got your buffet for breakfast,
Yes,
really.
yes.
And the menu that they have, it's not just about the taste, but also the nutrients that you need. And I can tell
It's
you
always
that
my thing, having a good just dose or cup of regular Americano that
Yeah.
I usually like. Some others like.
you took some this
cappuccino.
morning, right?
I did.
Yes, I saw you in the car.
my doctor will not be too happy with you. Says that I should limit it, but
Okay.
but that's why we're here today, to make sure that we provide viewers of TV3 Newday, subsequently those who tend to give us regular viewing experience, to be part of this experience at 4 Points by Sheraton right here in Accra. And that's how we're going to have regular programming for today's edition of TV3 Newday till we close at 10. And we're going to speak to some great people who work here, have made sure that the exquisite customized service that is provided by 4 Points by Sheraton Accra is the best that you can have. And we're going to have the chef, for example.
Indeed, yes. And if you're just around the vicinity, you can pass by for your coffee, for your cappuccino, like you heard Roland say, or for your meal or tea, whichever one,
Yeah.
because it's a great experience you don't want to miss this morning.
Yeah.
And of course, moving forward.
Well, certainly. And so if you want a point to stay, a place to have some relaxing time, because they have, I was just watching their pool and you know, it was just drizzling this morning, but you could still feel the vibe, you know, especially for those who want to suntan, so to speak. It also means that you can always just arrive at the front decks, whatever it is that you want. You're able to have it, for example, our own production assistant, Priscilla, also having some conversations thereof.
Yeah.
And just to make sure that we have the right sort of conversations, I think that sometimes we can try as much as possible also engage some of our strong service agents.
Yes.
As regularly we call them in our communities receptionists.
Yes.
But you know, at 4 Points by Sheraton, they give it some of the most exquisite lexicon that you can ever find in your terminology framework. And so they have some of the best guest service agents right here. I see Celestine, and just a word or two from Celestine and how exhilarated she is to work here.
Yes.
Will be fine.
Hi, Celestine. Good morning. Welcome to New Day.
Good morning. My name is Celestine, a guest service agent. Working here has been good. It has been great. You get to meet people. You get to communicate with people. It has been great all this while.
It's been great. And really, since we started talking, ask you what you've got on your menu today.
Indeed, you should. Indeed, you should.
Okay, so breakfast is actually buffet. We have variety of food, both continental and local. Local aspect, it varies day in, day out. So today's option might be different. It would be nice if you get there and then check what you have for yourself. Yes.
I mean, Roland, before we actually saw a lady who was just exited.
Yes, yes,
Was
a guest.
A guest.
Whose flight would need a check-in.
Yeah.
And then I just told her, I hope that you had a great stay. She said,
exquisite.
Exquisite. Fantastic. She actually used the word fantastic,
Yes.
which is also a word I use as well. I
Yes.
use amazing, fantastic.
Yes.
And today I discovered,
Yes.
having had a conversation earlier with you,
Yes.
exquisite.
Yes.
Exquisite
Yes.
is what you have to
Yes.
associate 4 Points by Sheraton with.
Perhaps my last question to you, Really, we had the feedback from the lady telling us that her experience was fantastic. What should be the experience? Perhaps you can
use
my
mic, Celestine.
of those who are thinking of coming here this morning and beyond.
Okay, so at 4 Points by Sheraton, we offer great services. So we also have so many amenities. We have great rooms, we have king rooms, we have deluxe room, we have twin room as well. We have the presidential suite. We also have the executive suite and all. And also, aside all that, the rooms, we have a very nice restaurant. We have the bar as well. And then we also have the conference rooms. We also have the gym as well. So those are some of the things guests should look out for when they come to 4 Points by Sheraton.
Right. And
Thank you so much.
I want to have a few. For me, I always love to taste, because I'm a marketing person. I did marketing University of Professional Studies Accra for my undergrad, and also did my postgraduate degree at the University of Ghana Business School. I always love it. And in marketing, they have what they call the service experience. And in the service experience, they have what they call the moment of truth. And the movement of truth is when you engage the service and you make that pointed or poignant decision that I've encountered a service that is going to be with me for a lifetime. It's like those judges who come to taste for those Michelin stars that are down for the restaurants around the world, the best taste of cuisines. They taste it, they'll never tell you. And then they taste the food and say, this person who did this delicacy of food deserves a star, Michelin star. And so I'm just saying, and they have great applications to make sure that your customer service or customer information is logged in. I'm just watching it right here. Just for confidentiality, we can make you see that. And Celestine is doing some great work alongside her colleagues. So we'll be speaking to a number of their managers as well as the lead chef right here at 4 Points by Sheraton. And I tell you, we're going to have some great time. But we haven't had enough of Sheraton.
Not yet.
4 Points by Sheraton yet. Yes. But we have some great content lined up this morning.
Indeed, we'll speak to the general manager. We'll also speak to the chef who is actually in charge of the chefs here, and just really get to understand what you get to gain and experience when you walk here at 4 Points by Sheraton. Okay. And already the environments, like I said, what's the word for today? Exquisite.
Exquisite.
Yes, the environment is great, and you get to enjoy really the best of Accra.
Yeah.
Less than 5.
And currently you can see on your screens everything from bed, breakfast, everything you can ever have. They have some great exquisite rooms that you can have, all forms of standards customized for you. And then you have an area of the customers who are here. Look, have something said in French for me when you're ready. So just in case you're staying here, they have the gym area, for example, because I like going lean. I'm always gymming. That's why I'm very lean.
I'm yet to see the muscles, though.
Be careful. We'll ask now for that.
Okay.
And then they have a great car parking area. And so just in case you're worried that if I come to 4 Points by Sheraton, my car may not fit. Indeed, when I was parking, I saw, a Ford Raptor. As well as, those who have the 150s, the Dodge Rams, the big ones as well, they can all fit here. And I'm sure even a long limousine can also fit here as well. But we have some great content. We're going to discuss for this is what we're doing for this morning segment. But for our big issues content, we're going to have Zato, Solomon.
The usual panel.
Yeah, lawyer Abbas is also going to be here as well. And then also Esiedu Entry Aaron is going to be part of the panel. We know that the Ministry of Lands has also made a decision based on committee put together, tenders open, and then considerations made, restricted thereof. for the diamond mines to be given out to engineers and planners, long-standing local mining company. They've had so far, apart from 3news.com, getting news highlights, also on Reuters as well as some international platforms. So we're going to discuss that. I'm sure Aaron will have a lot to say about that, as well as Solomon, Dr. Joshua Jabunti Zato.
Zato has not been, Dr. Zato has not been here in a while.
Okay. So we're going to give him some great service, the scenery, etc. So Zato is going to be here, 4 points by Sheraton, be talking about all the controversial points that he wants to make out when it comes to engineers and planners.
4 points.
Yes, within 4 points, taking over the Dama mines that ultimately from the 18th of April will be transitioning from Goldfield to engineers and planners. And subsequently, we'll have one more highlight of the issue. You know, some transport fares have been up, especially VIP. And VIP is one of the biggest patronized transport fleet, so to speak, in our country, apart from STC.
Yeah, and this morning I actually saw one of the executives really speaking to us about, I believe, explaining to us the cost components and what kind of services we need to expect. So, yes.
All right, so if the chef is ready, the chef can come. We'll have a quick conversation thereof. I saw his name tag, but I didn't know. I told you to form some good customer service words for Sheraton in French. So, be making up your mind. So you're a French speaker.
Super.
Okay, so we're waiting for the chef right here, who has the distinguished honor of giving us exquisite cuisines. You know, they have buffets.
Distinguished is distinguished.
Yeah. Okay, so he's here. How do you pronounce your name?
Genghis.
Like Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan.
Yes, sir.
Genghis what?
Khan.
So the S is K. Okay.
I'm Genghis Khan.
Okay.
Genghis Khan was the great Mongolian warrior in history.
Are you a Mongolian yourself?
No, but I am Asian.
You're Asian, nonetheless, and so it all encapsulates everything. But tell me your experiences so far, being the head chef at 4 Points by Sheraton, as you have it.
It's been amazing. Opening hotel, this is my third opening, it's always amazing. You put the foundation down. And it's always great working with new people, new culture. So you put down the passion, you get to put out new ideas, you need to try and be new in every way possible that you can, you understand? So we try that and we still be new every day. Like when it comes to our meals, each chef has their own passion coming in the kitchen. So it's not me alone. You know, it's a soccer team. It takes all of us to score that goal. And I get them to bring their passion. Like I tell them, we take them out on the buffet. Guys, why do you feel proud that you can go home today and say, I'm proud of this that I made today, and I really learned something today. And it really brings out different creative ideas when it comes to our food here at 4 Points.
There's a point there that I was making about the food that, for example, a foreign chef will have to try to customize it or integrate local tastes, so to speak. And you know, here we love jollof a lot. you do mixed rice. You do mixed rice for your guests as well. I mean, making consideration for local taste for the guest, and then the continental ones or the international ones as well.
So definitely we play around with it. Obviously I had to learn the food first, so I chop everything. I get my hands nice and sticky into the soups and into the swallows. My favorite being palm nut soup. But then I have tried being creative. I've obviously trying to infuse some things, taking pastas and making a granite pasta. Assorted granite pasta, and it actually came out fairly nice. I did for a cocktail, we did stuffed jollof balls. So we took the jollof rice and then stuffed it with some South African boerewors, and guys loved it. You know, it's so we love being creative, and that's
okay. So you have breakfasts, then you have lunch buffets, then you have for evening ones.
So depending on the demand, yes, we do. We have breakfast buffets every day, which we run from 6 a.m., 6:30, but we're ready at 6 until 10:30. And then we have Sunday brunch as well, where we infuse our food. So a lot of local dishes first, obviously, local comes first.
I mean, I love the fact that there's so much creativity in what you get to eat here. So assuming I walk in here, you talked about cooking jollof and stuffing it with something from South Africa, right? And I tell you that I want something unique created for me on that day. It's possible.
Very possible. Done it a few times before. We had a table through, and then I took the order myself. And the one guest said, "Can you please make me the chef special?" So I said, "Okay, this is our special." No, she said, "I want you to make me something out of your mind." And I did. I made a nice chili pasta, which also again I took the Italian style, and then I just put the local tomato stew with pepper inside, and she loved it.
You know, the smile on his face, it just tells me how great that taste will be.
How many years have you been in the business? And now being with 4 Points by Sheraton, how excited are you?
Wow, it's been, I haven't counted all the years together, but it's now running 12 years as an executive chef. I grew up in a family of chefs. My dad's a chef. My 5 siblings are chefs. So it's always been a contest. So yeah, fairly about 15 years, 16 years in the business.
Wow.
All right, thank you so much. We told you that we're going to give you customized service and coverage today. So Genghis' son, who is a lead chef right here, decided inadvertently to take the mic from me. So I became the one who was being interviewed. Quite a strong professional there. But that's why we have to transition. We'll go for a break. Yeah. When we come back, we have big issues. And again, the conversation that is dominating social media is about the diamond mines being given to EMP after we had 2 or 3 other mining companies that's not meeting the threshold, and that announcement made by the Ministry of Lands the whole of yesterday.
Yeah. So for me, it's going to be a great experience, a super experience that I'll call super en français.
Super en français. Charlie, French go hard for me.
Oh no,
I have to be closer to you so that I can be learning the phonetics and how to speak it.
No, but you'll be fine.
Okay, take us for a commercial break in French.
All right. Ok, donc vous êtes toujours ici, c'est Newday sur TV3. Okay.
Okay, so basically we're going for commercial break. Go do that again.
Vous êtes ici sur TV3, c'est toujours Newday. Et en fait, on a juste quelques minutes. On va aller prendre de trucs en fait importants pour nous. Et après, on va revenir pour faire le big issue et les sports et le reste. Moi, je suis Béatrice et c'est Roland. À bientôt.
Media General, TV3, we have everything. French speakers, Arabic speakers, and then of course we have Dagbani speakers and...
Fancy.
Me in a break, me a bona. We're going for a break, we'll be right back.
Hey, gee. My head really aches. Feeling cold and feverish.
Sorry. I know the solution to your problem. It is Procold.
Procold? I bought some 3 days ago, but I'm not seeing any improvement. You can even have a look.
This is fake. Let's go to the drugstore. Please, we want Procold. No, not this.
Oh, but this does the same work, and it's even far cheaper.
No, we insist you give us Procold from Kojak. I don't understand why people give this fake Procold, and why they don't give the fake one. Then they give you a similar one with a different name and tell you it works the same. But it is not so. If it's not Procold from Kojak, then we won't accept it.
So I'm in a buoyant mood to make sure that I put into perspective the right questions for our guests this morning when it comes to big issues. I'll quickly would have to introduce them in a bit, but again, my outfit is by Sonar Fashions, and Sonar Fashions you can always find in Tamale, and so wherever you find yourself, they would always make sure that they are able to courier your outfits that you order to you. You can locate or call them on the number 024-659-0162. Sonar Fashions, based in Tamale. And they're making me look great. I'm just watching myself on the monitor right here, and I think I look great. Yeah, nobody will praise me, so I have to praise myself. But today, after a tender process, we have the diamond mines from the 18th of April going to be operated fully. They used to be subcontractors for Goldfields, and engineers and planners taking over. It sent the internet or social media agog, mixed reactions, but a lot of positives also on the side of those who say they are patriots or nationalists and would want Ghanaians to operate their own. But we've also had some criticism on the other side of the political divide as well. And then subsequently, we'll look at what the main issues are if we have the time. We've had an increment in some fares as well. So we'll take a look at that if our viewers will be in a position to do so. So we'll quickly do that. And when we have the right sort of, okay, we'll be able to put all that into perspective. Let me just quickly introduce our guests for the morning. I have joining us to be able to dissect all the issues and reach out into what led to the decision to, among other competitors, choose EMP and what it means by way of the Minerals Commission as well as the Minerals Mining Act. What also that means as well. Joseph Yeroko, the acting director for the legal directorate or department of the Minerals Commission. He's here. Good morning to you, Mr. Yeroko.
Good morning.
Okay, and our lawyer as well. So I have lawyer Abbas Nuruddin. He is also the CEO for the Social Enterprise
Investment Fund.
Okay, Social Investment Fund. I need to make sure I rhyme it well. Seem to get it all the time. Like Social Investment Fund, and then of course Aaron is here doing trees here. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Roland.
And then Solomon also is here. Solomon, good morning.
Good morning,
Dr. Jabuti Zato is also here, clad in a blue jacket as well, so he's ready to also fire as well. You look good.
Thank you. Because I just want to say before we start, can we always host the show here?
Yeah.
Can we make it a permanent thing so that
you love
at the 4 Point Sheraton? Yeah.
4 points by Sheraton.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean,
you love the ambience.
Yeah, I like the ambience. I like it. You know, okay. If you're a small boy from Tumu, you are in Accra, you are hosted at the 4 Point Sheraton. It's a big deal.
Yes, it's true. But make sure you join us with your messages as well. I see a couple of you on social media, so you're all well acknowledged. And Prince Nania York is watching us from the UK. I have Obrimpong Kaba. Neo Dante Mills is watching us from Finland. A couple of people as well who watch us constantly. We're grateful that you've joined us. Please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations thereof. But we have to start off. Minerals Commission. You're the acting director of legal and tender process. Please, where are we at currently? The conversation is that you did a handing over, but can you explain what really transpired for after the tender process, EMP being chosen to operate the Dama mines?
All right, thank you very much. I mean, beyond my official title at the Minerals Commission, I was also a member secretary to the tender committee.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then you mentioned that the mine had been handed over to EMP.
As a tender process.
Well, okay. So the tender process has just concluded an important stage.
Okay.
So you mentioned what next.
Okay.
Now, you see that when the minister released his press release, he mentioned that Minerals Commission has been directed to take all regulatory steps to effect the approval. So what has happened now is a recommendation from the Minerals Commission to the minister. The minister has approved the recommendation. What are the next steps? In the minerals and mining sector, in our regulation, when you apply for a mineral right, whether by tender or to the first come, first serve process, we are always required to recommend a winner or recommended person to the minister.
Okay.
The minister then approves the recommendation. Then it goes back to the commission. The commission will now formally notify the company that the minister has approved our recommendation, and these are the next steps. So we are in the process officially informing the winning tenderer that the minister has approved our recommendation to award the lease to you. Then beyond that, the winning tenderer must accept the award in writing.
Okay.
The law is very clear. If you don't accept it in writing, it lapses automatically. Now, when that is done, then now triggers a series of other approval processes. So we'll be required under Section 13 of Act 703 and the similar provision regulation in the LI 2176 to do certain things. We must now gazette the approval. When it is gazetted, it means that you must publish the gazette, and we're also required to do certain things. For example, notify the district assembly, the people who are affected by the award, for instance, the landowners, the community, publish even a copy of the notice on the land. And that will be there for 21 days. Within that 21 days, anybody who is an interested party, so it can be the landowner, it can be somebody who may be probably working on the land as a farmer, or even the community. If you have any issue, you have 21 days within which you must let the minister know. So what do is you submit your interest to the Minerals Commission. So after 21 days is over, the commission will be required to add any submission received as part of the notice to the minister that we have completed the process. This is the people who have made submissions, if any. The minister will then be required to consider those submissions. If it's okay, if it's at that point that the formal actual money lease will be granted to the winning party. So what we are now is not the end at all. It's actually the beginning of another process. Okay. That is why when you look at the minister's statement, he said commission is required to take all regulatory steps to effect the approval. So we are still some distance when it comes to the completion of the final stage.
So by regulation, the gazetting period is still 21 days?
So
with how many days is time?
So it is gazetted, and copies of the notice served on whoever has to be served per the law, it's supposed to be there for 21 days. Now, after that is passed, the commission has 30 days within which it must submit its recommendation to the minister. For the minister to now grant the money list. So the minister will now come back and say, okay, everything is fine, go ahead. At that point, that will actually prepare the money list that will be signed between the mining company and the Republic. So we are not there yet. We are just finishing a session of the process.
So across social media, and then particularly for those who are critics of the notice, so to speak, to the ministry or the minister.
The recommendation.
The recommendation.
Yes.
For EMP to be chosen.
Yes.
Were questions about what were the considerations that were made? What were the key indicators that you were looking for as a committee?
Okay. So before I even go there, so as I mentioned, the notice, the minister's press release is just, so there are two things happening. The regulatory process and the minister's decision to also inform the public. So we are written to the minister saying that at the end of the tender process, this is the winning person, therefore we are commending him for his approval. So that is ongoing. Now, the process for granting mineral right by tender, but this is the first time we've ever used that requirement in the law, since 2012 when the law was passed. This is the first time a minister has ever used the tender process. And I must add that before this decision came, the minister had sought the advice of the commission as to the various ways. Now, we had the Section 14 approach, if you remember the letter that was circulating in the media about EMP and goldfish stocking. If that process...
You mean the 2024
yes,
letter?
If that process had concluded, it would have been a Section 14 assignment of the money list from Damai to goldfish to EMP. But somehow, it didn't conclude. The minister had within his right to say, you know what, based on your letter, based on goldfish's response, that said that, well, we think EMP is the person who must take over. Go ahead and conclude and come back to me. That would have really shortened the entire process. Like, I'm selling your property to you. The processes are clear. That would have ended at that point. But somehow he chose not to ask them to complete that process. So when we look at all the means by which you can actually give a mining lease or a mineral right, the auction process, as a matter of fact, we actually advised the minister that when you want to go through the auction process, that will even take a longer process because of the requirement you needed to meet. But I said, look, I want to use that process because I want to be fair. Because at that time, other two companies have also put application for the same mine lease. They were speculative because the list is still held by somebody.
Okay.
So wanted to give everybody the fair chance at the mineral rights. So he opted for the bidding process. And the guideline was published based on the requirements of the regulation, Regulation 258 of LI 2176, provides the process by which a tender process can be conducted. So we simply follow the procedure, and the minister published the guideline of the notice for tender, which was circulated in the media for anybody who was interested in applying.
So the no objection letter coming from the ministry back in 2024, two engineers and planners, what did it mean?
Okay, so this is not really, this is taken back into history, but maybe I should just explain. So like I mentioned,
because it's still circulating,
yes,
that's what
like I mentioned, under section 14, the minister can approve the assignment of a mineral right. So you are the owner of the mining lease, want to give it out. You can give it fully or wholly, but the law requires you to seek the minister's prior written approval. So that was a discussion that was going on, which led to the letter being written from the minister that, well, you can go ahead and negotiate based on strict conditions. So if that had concluded and the parties agreed, they would have come back to the minister and said, if I agreed to assign, then you'll be required to submit certain documentation, including the assignment contract, and the Ministerial Commission will go through it and advise the minister as whether he should approve it or not. So if they had concluded, that would have been the end of the matter. But somehow, it wasn't done before the change in government. And then when the current minister came, there was a letter from Goldfields saying that we were talking about the transition. And they mentioned in the letter that, look, as far as they are concerned, they thought EMP was the best vehicle to doing that. Minister Robert can say, yes, I am aware of your negotiations. Go ahead and conclude and get back to me regarding your conclusion. But somehow that did not happen.
All right. Okay.
And I said the minister could have gone ahead and say, you know what, based on powers conferred to me under section 5 Act 703, I can compel you guys to negotiate and come back to me. But
you mean lawyer Samuel Jinapo at the time?
Well, now currently the minister.
Okay.
Yes, so but he opted to go through the bidding approach where everybody will be given a chance to be able to. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I ask director a question? I want clarification. You see, there are two routes you are putting across.
Yes.
I.e. the assignment, that is section 4.
Which didn't happen, yes.
Good. And that of the bidding process.
Yes.
Now, with regards to the assignment, you are saying that Goldfields came back to the minister that they believe that EMP can negotiate with them. How do you reconcile with the fact that somewhere 2024, ending of 2024, the same Goldfields was at the ministry requesting for renewal of their lease?
So you need to go back to when the lease was rejected. The lease was rejected, I think, way back in before that November. I need to refer to my document before November.
Probably, let me just refresh your memory because I followed it.
Yes.
Now, the no objection letter was issued somewhere March.
Yes.
Which is subsistent for a year.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, throughout the period, the same year, the no objection letter was subsistent, having life. Goldfields comes somewhere in December, wants to renew, meaning that negotiation has not been properly concluded with EMP. So I am so surprised that Goldfields again will now be saying that they believe that EMP is the best person or better company to take over.
You're making your submission, so your time, all this is within your time.
So it's a question for clarity.
But you could have asked that within the time.
But really, I don't see.
Let him finish.
But really, I don't see any confusion.
Yeah.
There's no confusion at all. You are negotiating. Your lease is coming to an end. The law requires you to put an application for renewal. The government is obliged to respond. Government said, based on this reason, I am not extending your lease. So letter I'm referring to came after this rejection, and attempts were being made to negotiate a 1-year extension to deal with transitional issues.
Subsequently, which was given?
It was given.
Okay.
So it was during that transitional period that government and the company were talking as to how the transition could be effected. And it was one of Goldfield's consideration that during this transition, they felt that EMP could be one of the best vehicles to ensure a seamless transition. So there's no confusion about this at all.
All right.
So that is the situation.
Okay.
Yes. Then what is the question? What have I been asked?
No question for you for now.
All right.
Bas, at the end of the day, you know, EMP has been a subcontractor for Goldfields for this, so has been working the Dama mines. Indeed, they do 80% of the work from the perspective of if you go to the plants, and we as reporters, we tend to go there, etc. as well. But the question in the public domain is, was it time to say the local entity needed to be given the House of Rights based on their qualification, their experience, etc.? As a first question.
Thank you.
And what will be the response from governments?
Well, thank you very much, Roland. I think for those of us who have long yearned for local participation in key sectors like the extractive industry, this particular move is a very refreshing and welcoming development, particularly so because the extractive industry of any country is one particular means by which the state can empower the citizenry in terms of job creation, in terms of revenue retention, and a whole lot. So we find this particular move quite refreshing. But it is also important to state that this whole process did not just start when John Mahama came to office. If you would recall, on the 4th of September 2024, Goldfields Aboso issued a demobilization notice. A demobilization notice is an indication of the unwillingness of Goldfields to continue its operations. So on the basis of that notice, EMP, which has been the main contractor, the subcontractor for Goldfields since 2002, a main contractor since 2017, applied to the then Akufo-Addo Bawumia government for a no objection for a possible takeover of the mine. And on the 12th of March 2024, with Abu Jinapo as the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Dr. Bawumia as the Vice President, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President, and no objection was granted. So the process that culminated in yesterday's announcement started way back under the MPP. And for the benefit of our listeners, I would want us to have a look at the no objection letter that was issued by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. I think I gave it to production.
Why do you keep mentioning Akufo-Addo Bawumia government? It's the ministry.
Yeah, the narrative of the MPP seeking to create the impression that this whole process.
Shadrach, do you have the letter?
Yes, I've given the letter. I've given the letter to Shadrach,
and bring some clarity to the discussion itself.
So the letter is dated 12 March 2024, and the heading: request for notice of no objection pursuant to Section 52 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2016. Your letter dated 8 March 2024 on the above subject matter refers. Subsequent to your letter, the Honorable Minister requested for advice and recommendation of the Minerals Commission pursuant to Section 102 of the Mineral and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, which was received on 12 March 2024. The Commission indicates that your company has gained considerable experience in mining and it is currently engaged in contract mining for Aboso Goldfields Limited Damai Gold Mine. Based on the representation in your letter and on the recommendations of the Minerals Commission, the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has no objection. The Honorable
12
Minister,
March 2024.
The Honorable Minister here is Abu Jinapo, Akufo-Addo's appointed Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Has no objection to engineers and planners entering into negotiation with Aboso Goldfields Limited for purposes of acquiring the Damai mine. So the fact that the erstwhile MPP administration had no objection to EMP's acquisition of a lease relative to the Damai mine is an indication of their experience, their track record in the mining industry. So this should kill all MPP propaganda that the EMP was given this lease, so to speak. It is not conclusive yet, but where the process has gotten to, every other thing may be a matter of formality. So it should kill MPP's propaganda that this whole process was deliberate. Yes, this is the letter. This whole process was cooked for Ibrahim Mahama's EMP because he is related to John Mahama. The other issue I think we need to look at is the route that government used. Like Honorable Mr. Eroko said, they could have used the Section 14 route, which would relatively have been a bit shorter, and anybody having doubt could have raised issues about transparency. But the ministers sought to use a more transparent and open process by opening the process up to every Ghanaian who is interested in the mine to bid. As a result of that, 4 companies put in their bid, and out of that 4 companies, Ibrahim Mahama and one other company, I think Gottes, Hit Goldfields, passed the first stage and then the second stage and scored 93% to receive the recommendation of the tender committee. Quite apart from the technical assessment, which was based on the local content the company has generated, their facilities and equipment, their work plan, there was also a financial evaluation where companies needed to prove that they could invest as much as 500 million USD, and Barclays Bank and Stanbic have provided a guarantee to help EMP in that regard. So I think this should put to rest all issues about political connections and all of that, because EMP is a limited liability company with a personality, with a corporate personality separate from even Ibrahim Mahama. And EMP at a point was the largest indigenous mining company, not only in West Africa, but in the whole of Africa. It has mining operations in Congo, Liberia, and then Sierra Leone and a host of other countries. So for EMP to have won this bid is an indication of their track record in the mining sector. And for us as Ghanaians, I think it is a period where we all need to be very proud of ourselves, because for almost 100 years, the mining sector or the mining industry, the extractive industry, has been purely dominated by foreign companies. And the domination of this strategic sector by foreigners has its own economic consequences, because at the end of the day, whatever profit they make is repatriated, and it has effect on the forest arrangement of Ghana. Now we have an indigenous mining company. Apart from the fact that EMP's immediate step in is saving 6,000 Ghanaian jobs, Ibrahim Mahama is also a Ghanaian. Most of the profit he makes from the running of the mines, I think, will stay in Ghana. It will help in the financial arrangement of this country and make Ghana the better for it. So I think as a people, we need to learn the Nigerian example, where in spite of their political challenges, all politicians have made a firm commitment to build local champions to lead some of their most important industries. That is how come the likes of Dangote emerged. That is how come the likes of Mike Adenuga, the like of Femi Odetola. That is how come all these people emerged. And in times of crisis, we had Dangote refining Nigerian crude. So even if the Iran-Iraqi war was going to bite very hard, because they have built their own local champions who have taken, who have gone into a sector which was previously led by foreigners, the impact of global economic shocks will not be felt. And it is also important to make the point that the mine is not being sold to EMP. It is being leased. And in any lease arrangement, consideration will pass. Mr. Irokailai, Ibrahim Mahama is not going to be given, or EMP is not going to be given any preferential treatment because Ibrahim Mahama is involved.
You're saying not in perpetuity?
Not in perpetuity. Okay. A lease has a definite time. But the point that has to be emphasized, because an impression is being created out there as if the mine is being given to Ibrahim Mahama on a silver platter. Okay. Whatever any other company that would have won the bid was supposed to pay, Ibrahim Mahama will pay that same consideration. And maybe even better arrangement, because under the present arrangement, Gold Force has 90% carried interest in the Aboso gold mine. So what it means that whatever profit they made, at the end of the day, they could take 90% of that out of Ghana. So I think this is a win-win for Ghana, and this should pave the way for more indigenous participation in the oil and gas sector, in the mining sector, and in all the other sectors. And insofar as this process began under the Kufuor Bawumia administration, I think they deserve a bit of commendation, and I will urge two of my MPP colleagues here to join me in congratulating Ibrahim Mahama for or the EMP. I think there is the tendency for us. There is a tendency for sometimes for us to personalize a company. Okay. But we, being lawyers, we know companies have a separate personality that is distinct even from their director. So I urge them to join me in congratulating EMP
Aaron,
for this monumental feat.
Your considered opinion, having taken off from the key clarifications that you were seeking from Mr. Iroko in the first place, from the Minerals Commission.
Roland, I think no one sitting here this morning or watching us in his house would say when a Ghanaian gets a business or runs business and runs our mines, we should be angry and up in arms against the person. Abbas sitting here is a lawyer, and a lawyer understands that even when a matter is in court, we look at two things: the substantive matter and the procedural propriety of it. So substantively, you might be right, but the procedure in which you get it might be problematic. And as a lawyer, your code, the GBA code, the Legal Profession Act, and all other codes, that guides you, tells you that you must be true to the public and educate the public, clear and fair. He sat here, mentioned no objection letter, as if no objection letter is a goner to say that the government has even granted you the mine. Even as we sit here, Director Legal tells us that after the tender, they are not even done with the process. It must go through several processes for the minister to okay it. Roland, when we talk of no objection letter, the simple understanding is that if you read our constitution, Article 257, Clause 6, and Article 268 will tell you that all minerals are vested in the president and is holding in trust for the people of Ghana. And as such, every negotiation must be done by the president. You get it? And he must actually listen through.
Is that your understanding? That
is not correct.
Is that what the
it is done by the government. The government, who is the head of the government or the executive? It is clear. And so the president appoints a minister who will be handling this on behalf of the government. And the government, per Article 58, Clause 1, tells you that executive authority is vested in the president. Now, the point over here is that is the procedure in which this mine is being leased that proper that we need to talk about. And you look at the circumstances surrounding it. You open a bid, a tender bid. In fact, let me even clarify this. The first thing is that when EMP actually approached Goldfields that they would be able to have negotiations with them, the said no objection letter granted to them by the government as of then subsisted for a year. During that period, from March to December, they couldn't conclude any proper negotiation. That is why Goldfields, in December 2024, moved to the government and asked for a renewal of the lease. So when I heard Director Legal saying that EMP Goldfields had a letter telling the government of the day that EMP is the best company or is in better position to take over, I was quite surprised, and I would love to look at that letter. Now, fast forward, their lease gets terminated somewhere in April 2025. The government itself now renews it or tells them to hold in for a period of 1 year because through the assignment procedure of Section 14, EMP could not reach a negotiation with them. And so it raised a lot of questions that, okay, now EMP is still in the mines working. The government assured them that they should work or to be able to sustain jobs. Now you open a tender, and this tender was...
Is it the government that assures them, or they're already a subcontractor?
They're a subcontractor. The government, the minister actually went there a couple of... The minister went there a couple of weeks ago to assure that they should continue to work, maintain jobs over there. It's a whole conversation on its own. Now, the issue I'm trying to raise is that you open a tender of some which worth amount of $500 million or so, and you open it for only 7 good days. Yesterday, I was speaking to some bankers. My brother has worked in the banking sector. If you are looking
Which
for...
of your brothers? Because you have 2 brothers beside you.
Solomon, the one who is working in...
Solomon, you work in the bank? Or had association with the bank?
Yes. When you are looking for letters of guarantee, when you are looking for...
Who has worked in tandem?
In tandem with Abbas. What I'm saying is that when you are looking for letters of guarantee, someone working at a bank has told me, in fact, I have the message on my phone that if you are...
Letters of guarantee?
Yes. If you are looking for that, and you are even a regular customer they deal with, you are looking about a week for you to get that guarantee. Now you open a tender for 7 days, and a certain company...
Which bank did you speak to?
Oh, it's Standard Chartered. Okay. You mentioned to me the Standard Chartered. Okay. And if you are not a client, because of if you are not a client, you are doing about 2 weeks to a month. And the problem over here is that because the amount is so huge, you might not even be doing one bank. You might be doing a couple of them.
Is it not true that in the processes within the banking system, to be able to raise a letter of guarantee from a bank, whether you're a customer or not, it's also premised on the sort of threshold collateral.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that.
So is it possible?
I'm not disputing
respectfully.
That. No.
Is it possible?
Roland, let me finish my point.
My point. Is it possible that if a customer wants a letter of guarantee from a bank, whether customer or not, and they're able to meet the threshold within the stipulated date, they will be able to be issued that letter of guarantee by the said bank?
By the said bank?
Yes. If you meet
you've not even added the duration to it. So certainly if you meet it, they will grant it. That is why it takes a number of days.
If you meet it within the duration, would they grant it?
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that looking at the number of days, you ask yourself, why should EMP have this foresight or foreknowledge within 7 days and be granted? It raises a whole lot of questions. And you see, you have to look at the circumstances surrounding this. If you read Article 284 of our Constitution, it talks about conflict of interest. And it is for no reason that Shraj has explained. Please. Senior, I didn't come. Please.
This is
you just come in to tell me that I'm missing. You know why I mentioned conflict of interest. You do this on NDC 360, not here.
What I'm saying is please grant Aaron Esiedu his time to be able to postulate or make his point.
What I'm saying is that Article 284 raises questions about conflict of interest. Shraj has explained conflict of interest to mean actual, potential, or perception. Why do I even mention conflict of interest? We are in this country when the government of the day, which cried even in opposition, chastising the Akufo-Addo for renting jets, now tells us that the EMP owner, that is Mr. Ibrahim Mohammed's private jet, is being used by the president of the day. Now, I was able to get the registration number of the private jet, and it tells you that this is a U.S. registered private.
What has that got to do with EMP?
Good. I'm now building on it. Now the question is that the president traveled somewhere last month to South Korea for 10 good days. And the Minister of Government Communication is telling us that the president, the government of the day, only paid for the fueling of the jets.
What's that got to do with the stated discussion?
Relax. I'm building on it, so let me finish. Now I get the ITA Aviation Charges Intelligence Center of
What's
South
that got
Korea.
to do with
Relax.
mining
I'm
lease?
building on the point, and it is even on the please you don't do that. It tells you the charges you need to pay. You need to pay when your jets.
What has that got to do with the mining lease discussion?
Please, Roland. It tells you the charges that has been labeled over there, and the jets would be charged per every 30 minutes. The first 3 hours is free for you, and the president spent 10 days over there, amounting to 240 hours in the third country. 240 hours minus 3 will give you 237 hours. Ask yourself, every 30 minutes, why would Mr. Ibrahim Mahama be paying this for and on behalf of the state if there is no actual juicy contract that will be leased to him? We in the MPP are not against a Ghanaian taking over any mines or a Ghanaian getting a business in this country. At least we want to fix our forest situation over here. Were we not in this country when Sami Jemfi gave Agra dollars and we were complaining of the opulence of power and others? What I'm saying is that if you pay all these charges to South Korea in the name that government is only fueling, and the questions we need to be asking is that why would Mr. Ibrahim be paying these charges to? Why would he be paying his crew members? Why would he be even paying where the crew members will be sleeping? For what? And tomorrow we get to know that the Amman Mines tender has been open for only 7 days. And 7 days he granted 93.15, and we want us to be praising him. Please.
Okay. Is it your suggestion that engineers and planners started operating its company and then also the Amman Mines when the president came to power?
It is my suggestion that when engineers and planners applied for the no objection letter and granted it, even within 1 year, they couldn't conclude negotiation. When the same Goldfields was asking for a renewal of their lease, they were denied. And today, a tender is open for 7 days and they are being granted. As of that time, they are paying for all these charges for the president. And that must be questioned.
You say that smacks of a conflict of interest?
Of course.
Dr. Zato, what do you say to all this? Your own observations? Your own observations.
Come here and
Mr. Aaron, if you want to come and sit and moderate, I think that you can play that dual role. So that
please, don't.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You don't understand the word.
Mr. Aaron,
I'm here to represent my political party.
Mr. Aaron,
how to behave.
The picture you are painting to the people.
Mr. Aaron, and then Abbas Ibrahim.
And be aggressive.
Abbas Nuruddin, and then Mr.
You don't even understand.
Okay. Please, let's behave gentlemanly. Let's not.
I think this is a decent platform.
It is a decent.
We have to conduct ourselves as such.
From the policy perspective, you've observed this. You look at the history of engineers and planners. 1996, working Dama Mines. A lot of investment there, subcontractor, etc. We had Hither Miner as well, a local entity that also participated. And then subsequently, the questions being raised thereof, but also for and against. Your own perspective.
Yeah, thank you. I miss the morning shows and I miss the fight. Sometimes it's good for them to fight like that, so it's good. You see, we are growing. We've handed it over to some people. Look, in 1999, during the elections, one of the candidates was a man called Mr. Danladi. Mr. Danladi coined a term called domestication. And it caught like fire. In fact, before won the elections hand on bed, domestication became a term that ran through the early 2000s because everybody felt that Ghanaians should be given opportunity to run the affairs of this country, especially our natural resources and mines. So I'm a big student of domestication, and I'm also a big student of Ghanaian companies owning the natural resources of this company. I want to put that on record. When I look at this contract, or this deal that is going to definitely conclude, it reeks of perceived and potential conflict of interest. From everything, it seems like it's like the Amman is like from Mahama to Mahama. One Mahama preparing a very juicy thing for another Mahama. It perceives of that. There's absolutely no student of ethics and of morality who will look at this contract and say it doesn't raise issues of perceived or potential conflict of interest. There's no student. The fact that you put those two together, the president's brother, taking a mind from the state, from the president, conflict of interest. Student of public policy will tell you something called principal agent theory. In this case, the president is the biggest principal who has given his agents here now being the Minister of Energy and also the Minerals Commission. They are all agents of the state to do these things. If we are just going theoretical, it takes us about so many things about information asymmetry. And that is probably where this guy was, Aaron was trying to come. I saw he was trying to make that point. What information has the minister, who is also appointed by the president, and the chairman of the Mineral Commission, also appointed by the president, what information have they given to engineers and planners? Do we know? We don't know. And that is the perceived.
Do you know whether some information?
I don't know. But if
so why are you asking?
I am telling you that Roland. I'm saying that there's a theory that explains relationships between principals and agents. That theory tells us that one of the weapons that the agents have over the principals is that they may have more and better information than the principal. What they do with that information, sometimes the president doesn't know. So what I'm saying is that the Minerals Commission has information. The chairman of the Minerals Commission is appointed by the president. The minister is appointed by the president. The president's brother goes to the president and says that I've just given my private jet to the president to travel to South Korea and come back. I am paying this amount of money for the president. I want this. Do you tell me that the minister can look into the eyes of the president's brother, the chairman, and say, I won't give you this? I want to make the people watching us. Sometimes when we hypothesize, the people don't understand. Let's look at that. You and I have a case in court.
You and who?
I'm saying, assuming we have a case.
You're using me as a hypothetical.
Yes, please.
Okay.
A very bitter case in court. We go to court and we fought. Maybe I don't have a good day, you don't have a good day. I'm leaving court and I'm going home. And I'm seeing you sitting down there drinking pito with the judge and laughing and eating meat.
It will not matter.
It will not matter. It will not matter to you because you are the one eating meat and drinking pito with the judge. It will matter to me because I am the one who have seen you doing that. You mean I should see that, and then I should still hope that, it doesn't matter, they are just drinking pito. I mean, when they come back to the court, the judge will say, I mean, shouldn't justice also be seen to be done?
I'm making this interjection because you raised a stated matter.
Yes.
Relating to lawyers or law.
Yes. Even in that case, shouldn't justice be seen to be done? How do I see you with the judge drinking water, drinking pito, flying to South Korea together, sitting together, and then I still believe that
But
at the end of the day,
that judges and even lawyers who can appear before these same judges sometimes are friends, classmates.
I'm not saying they are not friends. You can be friends wherever.
But if
you can be friends wherever you are.
I'll borrow the words from Aaron.
You can be.
Roland,
the point I'm making is that even you. Let's understand this. Even you, Roland. If you were in that shoe and you are going and you see the guy sitting down with the judge, they are laughing, they are chilling, they're having fun, you will raise some potential or perceived conflict of interest issues. That's the question I'm using here. Okay. I'm not saying that there's real, but the potential, the fact that you are making that case becomes it. And then I will tell you why. We're in this country where Data Bank started, Data Bank was doing business with government. If you want domestication of Ghanaian businesses, if you think the Ghanaians should own Ghanaian businesses, what was your case against Data Bank? Is it not a Ghanaian company? Wasn't Data Bank formed before Akufo-Addo became president? Doesn't Ken Ofori-Atta have the right to work as a Ghanaian? The business that he Data Bank, don't they have employers? Don't they also keep their profit in this country? Why was it wrong for Data Bank to work with the government of but it's correct for what's the name? Why?
All of them with experience.
All of them with experience, and all of them related to the president. All of them having powerful backers, the presidents. In this case, Data Bank, it was Akufo-Addo. If it's Akufo-Addo's cousin, is it cousin or brother, who owned Data Bank? And we said that the fact that Data Bank was doing business with Akufo-Addo and with Ken at the top, making money, we said it was a
common. So the argument is just in retaliation?
No, I'm not saying retaliation. I am saying that the people are weaponizing hypocrisy, and they are taking hypocrisy to what? To a plutonium levels. Yesterday, you were against Data Bank doing business with government. Agreed. Because conflict of interest, blah, blah, blah. Today, you are all cool and chill with EMP doing business with government. That is hypocrisy. That is not principled. And I am saying that sometimes in our governance, we need principles. Because when you do it, it means that you are just muddling through. Men and women should be able to stand on principles and say that for this is wrong. If yesterday you condemned a Data Bank, today you cannot be praising EMP. I've just realized the government of Ghana has released, what's the name? People who are qualified to do the brokerage or whatever it is. I've seen it. The same government has qualified data bank to do both. Yes. Brokerage, whatever. That data bank.
You mean the same government?
This government. Okay. This government that chastised data bank.
You know, you speak very fast. So
Thank you. Okay.
So you're saying...
I missed the show, that's why, so I have a lot...
You're saying, Ken Oforiatta, yes. when I was a teenager, and then I transitioned to be a tertiary student,
yes.
He was already a player in the industry.
Yes.
And from Kufuor to Mills to Mahama to again Kufuor, he did business.
Amen.
And you're saying that because they raised
when criticism, he was doing that,
you are saying because they raised criticism,
yes,
it smacks of hypocrisy this time around. But they still undertook the business, is that not?
Yes.
And they are still undertaking the business.
Yes.
So why not EMP? They should also undertake the business.
Again, I have not said not EMP. I have not said that.
Okay. So you're not saying that they shouldn't give the business if they qualify. That is engineers and planners.
Again, I said I support domestication, but I'm saying it's important that we call out the hypocrisy. It's important that we call out the maladministration. It's important that, I'm just starting to say this. Important that we do this. It's important that we let people know that the hypocrisy is now becoming too much. That the hypocrisy has gone to plutonian levels. Look, you sit down here and you tell me, listen, let's look at how it is, how it works.
2 minutes, Dr. Zato.
Principal Mahama appoints agent Minister of Boa as Minister of Mines. Then Principal Mahama also appoints Chairman of the Minerals Commission. What's his name? Then these appointees of Mahama takes a Jewish contract and give it to a brother of Mahama. Come on. Tell me which ethics and morality class they will say it doesn't raise potential or perceived conflict of interest. Say that, yes, nobody's questioning the man's expertise. Say nobody's against Ghanaians doing it. But when you were doing it, did you know what you were doing? You were playing politics. You were playing politics, you were being partisan, and you were doing that because you thought that it didn't benefit you. Today, you are doing a similar thing. My point is that, look, let's bring some governance to this country. We've seen this government playing fast and loose with these issues of morality and ethics. And that's my point. We've seen this government say 1,000 and billion things in opposition, doing opposite. If we don't call them together, that's why people say politics is a dirty game. That's why people say politicians are liars. It is because we allow such things to go unchallenged. It's because we think that it's normal for you to say whatever you want to say to get to power. And then once you're in power, do whatever you want. That cannot be how you govern a country, and that cannot be how you rule a people.
So what do you make of it? He makes a typical example of a principal and agent theory, and then does the linkage, and then also sets a great example with data bank, great experience at the time, close to the then president, still undertakes business, and the current government even still undertakes business with it. And so as a result of that, says that the narrative around the criticism then smacks of hypocrisy, etc. And that EMP has the experience, he has no difficulties, but that the narratives from the government when they were party in opposition is at variance to their actions today.
First of all, I've listened to Zato and then Aaron, and I don't know where, as a matter of fact, what their position really is. Because if you agree that you don't have any problem with it, then it ends there.
I don't understand.
This roller coaster, this one goes to South Korea, brings us to the US, estimates flying times, amount paid, is to achieve what?
You mean the planes being sighted? And
totally needless. Now you go to Zato, then he tells you that we have weaponized hypocrisy. If we have weaponized hypocrisy, then the most hypocritic persons are you and him. Because if your position yesterday regarding data bank was that it was a good deal, then you must not have any contrary view today.
No, you are wrong.
Please.
Oh, Zato. I have a lot to say.
You have a very large file, white paper, a good pen.
I said I'm tempted. I missed the show.
Please. Let's not adopt the tactics of trying to interject our compatriots when they are making the. I hope I have your cooperation.
You do.
Please go ahead.
You do.
So the most hypocritic personalities I've ever encountered in my life, ever since I started doing radio and TV, has to do with these two, Zato and Aaron. And it's so unfair. It is so also unfair. And this morning, in all sincerity, I'm saddened. So unfair to the integrity, the credibility of Dr. Yeroko sitting here. Because his integrity has been impugned.
Mr. Yeroko, he's just a lawyer. But a distinguished lawyer.
His integrity has been impugned. You heard Zato say that he wasn't too sure whether informations regarding the tender were even leaked You have the man here. Unfortunately, you started with him.
For good reason.
He walked you through the processes. I listened to him live on TV, giving us the technical marks as well as the financial. We were told that if you were not up to 80%, you couldn't cross with the financial bit. By the way, who in this country, if we are going to be sincere, and I've said that ever since we dealt with COVID, I'm not going to do this jandam politics, my case are growing, it is better we fix this country. Who in this country does not know that Ibrahim Mama is involved in mining? Who in this country does not know that EMP has been involved in mining? Look, 25th of March 2026, when the president of this land went to the UN and filed that motion on reparation, I've always said that for us to believe in that reparation must start from Ghana. Are you happy that for more than 100 years that we have been embarking on mining in this country, we cannot boast of a single indigenous mining company mining in our name? The Damai mines, when did they start operation? Is it not 1997? For 30 solid years, you had Goldfield, South Africa, shipping the monies out of this country to South Africa, and we are the nemesis of this country.
And what EMP was a subcontractor all along.
They have been the largest subcontractor. They come to this country. What they do is that, under the guise of bringing capital, they come and use our local contractors to mine our gold, and they ship it out. And you people are not worried as New Patriotic Party members. You come and sit here in one breath. We don't have a problem. It's a lie. They have a total problem with it.
So you can't make those.
They have absolutely. It's going to go against them. Some of us are going to go back to the Ghanaian and tell them, come 2028, that if you want this country to develop, the least or the last political party you must be thinking about is the New Patriotic Party, because they don't wish as well. Then it goes to feed into the narrative when Kwame Nkrumah was saying that independence now, and they were saying that no, within the shortest possible time. Everything we must take it to the foreign land. Is that the sense that we want to make out of this country? Look, my only difficulty in terms of the presentation, as I heard from Dr. Iroko and his group, was that Mr. Iroko was going to rely on foreign banks to support them.
So
and then what?
NIB and
you must have Ghana Commercial Bank in there. What are they doing? Lazy banking. The largest bank in this country, you are not taking advantage of this gracious and glorious opportunity. By the way, who gave Aaron the advice that it will take you a week for you to establish a letter of credit or guarantee? It can be done under 12 hours, just 6 minutes. It can even be done under 6 minutes, depending on the credibility of the company. There is no facts about that. Don't let people mislead you. And whoever did that has done a great disservice to you. For you to come on the live television and spew this
letter of guarantee,
letter of guarantee or letter of credit, it can be done under 10 minutes, depending on the company's relationship with the bank. When the bank sees that there is that the business is that good, they have that working relationship with you.
The business case, the cost benefit analysis.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why must they waste time? It is not in any bank's interest to waste time on a juicy business. Look, the last time I checked, the Damai mine has about 3.5 million ounces of gold. Now, if we are going to use today's rate of an ounce, hovering around 4,700, you are talking about $16 billion worth of an asset that a Ghanaian has been given. I am not one of those that believe that there is conflict of interest. So in 2024, when the then administration, Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, were busily dealing with Ibrahim Mama, where was the conflict of interest in it?
You mean when they allowed it to be a subcontractor?
Absolutely. And when they even cleared it, that they could negotiate with Goldfish.
2024.
Are they in a position to tell me, are they in a position to tell me the conflict of interest? You see, we must not be trivializing our politics. That the issue of jet. So do they want to tell me that if the president really means business and wants to give a business to the brother, the president has to be baited with a jet by his own brother?
I don't understand.
That the president, because the president sat in the private jet, he was what? Convinced beyond reasonable doubt to grant a mining asset to his brother. No way. Then there comes an issue that if, as though the Goldfish mines, they were forced of President accepting this and that, oh, why did they give them extra 1 year to be at site? Really? The mine itself said that they had a lot of ore at the site, and that if they were going to be rushed out, that ore could not be processed. So they needed time to demobilize, deal with the ore that were on site, and move all assets out of place so that there could be a smooth takeover of the place.
That's decommissioning.
Decommissioning. Okay. So why would this be too? That's what I'm saying, that I don't understand their position. If you are against it, say you are against it. From where I sit, the United Party believes in the Ghanaian. The United Party believes that beyond the mining sector, the telecommunication sector must be taken over by the Ghanaians.
So not only mining. Ghanaians should go into telecom?
How many times have I told you that it is just unconscionable that we have discovered oil in this country, and all those companies benefiting from it are either from the US, either from Canada and the United Kingdom. So that they ship our monies out of this country. And we are always at the mercy of their decisions. So you today must rather be praising.
You have a minute to wrap up.
Mr. Yoko and the group for doing a yeoman job. This is the beginning of reparation. Where the monies will sit in this country. All that I want to admonish Mr. Ibrahim Mahama and his company EMP is to also do a reciprocal gesture.
By?
That no subcontract will also go to a foreigner. All subcontracts must also be given to Ghanaians. The local content must as it were, work. Again, he must be partnering with other Ghanaians to ready themselves to take over from Goldfish, to take over from Anglo Gold, to take over from Asante. Everything must be Ghanaian here.
Mr. Solomon, Mr. Takeover, your time is up.
We will take over.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, please give us some clarity, and I give you only 3 minutes.
You never give it.
It's unfortunate, but we need also to make sure our discussants also are able to air their views, because it comes from a very strong policy as well as political standpoint, and also for public opinion perspective. Were there conflict of interest situations? What was the experience of the various companies that took part in this process as well, and the details by way of the threshold and the regulation and the LI?
I mean, Roland, like I said, I think...
Because you said the president, principal, and the minister, they gave the thing out.
It's unfortunate that I have just 3 minutes to talk about a lot of things, because we are dealing with the regulation and the facts.
Yeah, deal with that. We will deal with the politics.
Not speculation. So if you look at the LI 2176,
LI 2176,
Revision 257, it says conduct or tender for mineral right. It says where a mineral right is to be granted through tender procedures, the conduct of the tender shall be fair and transparent and in accordance with these regulations. So everything that was done has been provided for in law. Now, the minister was supposed to publish a guideline for the tender. And it was published. If you go to the website of the Minerals Commission and the ministry, you will see it.
There's a tender notice publication?
Yes, everything that needed to be made by bidders were specified in this document. So whatever was done by the committee was in accordance with this regulation. It's available on our website. Then beyond that, when the bids were opened, what you must meet has been clarified in this document. So we follow every step as required of the law. The committee was set up by the Minerals Commission, but the law provides for who should constitute the membership. So 3 members from the Minerals Commission, 1 shall be a chairman, 1 secretary, 1 rep from EPA, 1 rep for GGSA, and then we can co-opt 2 other members. So the CEO of EPA was a member of the committee. The DG of GGSA, who is a lecturer in KUSC, also very well versed in the mining sector, was a member of the committee. The deputy CEO, also a mining engineer, was a member. Of course, we co-opted 2 other members, the legal advisor to the minister, who is also a geologist, and 1 chief state attorney for the department who works on natural resources matters. So we followed the law and went through the process. Now, regarding the tender, again, I must go back to saying that the guidelines for tender is the first that we've ever done as far as this law is concerned, and we are not following what the PPA requirements are. It's provided for in the law. This is for the minerals and mining sector. So requirements are in the law. We followed it to the letter. When we were doing our work, we're not looking at anybody's last name. We're looking at whether the requirements provided for the minister have been met. We're blind to person. We're fully motivated. by the requirements of the assignment given to us. So I cannot really do speculations. I can only speak to the facts as I have enumerated here. So really, as far as we are concerned, we went through the process provided for by law. And in any case, he mentioned the issue of the shortness of the tender. As I mentioned, the guideline gave the minister the right to determine how long the thing should be open. And in any event, everybody was following the mining sector would have realized that over a year ago, government has made its intention clear that this mine will revert to the state. And if you also do the mining sector very well, you realize that government by law does not mine. Mining should be done through somebody. So if you are really interested in making a bid, you should be preparing for the D-Day, when the government will say, okay, how am I going to go ahead beyond the transition? So it's not the case that everybody goes to know, somebody goes to know of the decision just a day before yesterday. It will be clear that government will take over the mine from the 18th of April. As I mentioned, the Section 14 assignments, when they were arrested the minister, was one of the options that we look at. And we actually told the minister, look, that would have been the shortest route to solving this matter. And we thought that was the best approach because they were still talking. You could still ask them to negotiate because the law gives you the power. But he came back and said, you know what? Others are also put in an application. Let's open the process for everyone to have a bite. As a matter of fact, we advised and said that the bidding process will take a longer time to conclude compared to the other ones. That was the advice we gave to the minister. But of course, he chose the bidding route, and then he commenced the process and went by the guidelines
and that's
as required by the law.
Where we are
yes,
okay.
yes. So everything that we did is already for the tender notice.
Roland, there's a conflict of interest. Planes have been used. Of course, Jata plane has been even before 2025 for etc.
Roland, you see, I'm very scandalized by the level.
You have just 3 minutes, sir.
I don't want to say legal ignorance displayed by my brother. Is a law student. He's here to become he's here to become a lawyer.
Please,
Dr. Zato, yes, Dr. Zato is a fine academic. You see,
please, let's not attack.
What is conflict of interest? Okay. When a public officer places himself in a position that more or less derives him private gains, is Ibrahim Mama a public officer? Is Ibrahim Mahama a private?
His brother is the president.
No, but Ibrahim Mahama, apart from the fact that his brother is a president, you see, apart from the fact that his brother is a president, he is an individual distinct and separate from his brother. As a matter of fact, he has not occupied any public position. This is distinct from Ken Ofori-Atta, whose brother was the president and was still made the finance minister. So when Jato compared Data Bank and EMP, it's like comparing apples with Alugun to win. There is no basis for comparison.
Alugun to win.
Yes, you see, the president has several other brothers who did business. He had one brother called Bomti. He did a lot of businesses under Akufo-Addo. Did you hear anybody raise any issues of conflict? Because he was a private citizen. And the fact that your brother is president does not in any way extinguish your right to pursue your economic interest. Now, the president's brother is made finance minister. He owns a company called Enterprise Insurance Data Bank. Two of the directors, Ken Ofori-Atta, director finance minister, Kelly Gejepu, another director, made director of board chairman of ECG. And all of a sudden, the insurance deals that were going to a state-owned enterprise started going to enterprise insurance. This is a locus classicus.
But the point they made
I'm coming. This is a locus classicus of conflict of interest because...
Abbas Nuruddin, please, pointedly. The point they make of that is that it's the narrative of the NDC as a party that is now in government.
You see.
That smacks of hypocrisy.
You see, the point is that Ken Ofori-Atta...
And that you shouldn't have complained.
Ken Ofori-Atta was an active participant in the governance of Akufo-Addo. But you can't say same for Ibrahim Mahama. Ibrahim Mahama is a private citizen. If Ken Ofori-Atta has stayed out of the Akufo-Addo government and was doing his data bank and enterprise insurance business, would anybody have complained? So when we raise issues about Ken Ofori-Atta, it was not because data bank, which is an enterprise insurance, which he has interest in, were doing business. It was because he was superintending over a financial sector of which his companies were players and decisions were being made that gave unfavorable advantage to his companies. So if you come and raise issues of conflict of interest about a private citizen who was doing his business anyway,
under the MPP? Was Ibrahim Mahama not the main contractor for Goldfields? How did that also raise an issue of conflict of interest? So Aaron, you are learning to be a lawyer. If you want to quote proper legal principles, quote it rightly. Issues of conflict arise when you are a public officer and you act in a way that you use your private office, your public office for private gains. Ibrahim Mahama has never held any public office before. He's a private businessman, and the business he is doing is actually in his line of the line of business that he has been doing for the past 30 years. You get up, and now you raise that the only example you could give to buttress your issue of conflict of interest is because President Mahama used Ibrahim Mahama's jet to Korea. My goodness, President Mahama has been, President Mahama has been using Ibrahim Mahama's jet since 2020. What did President Mahama in opposition give in return when he was using Ibrahim Mahama's jet across the West African sub-region? As a matter of fact, when he became president, before he was sworn in, you know, he toured the West African sub-region. It was Ibrahim Mahama's jet he used. What did he give in return? Quite apart from that, recently, the Asantehene used Ibrahim Mahama's jet to South Africa. What did Asantehene give in return to use Ibrahim Mahama's jet? You see, that is how absurd. That is the paucity. That is the paucity of reasoning in Aaron's attempt to link the president's use of Ibrahim Mahama's jet to the issue of conflict of interest. Because Ibrahim Mahama is a private businessman with his own group of friends. There are instances where the likes of Sir Sam Jonah and our others have used his jet for their personal travels. What did they give in return in order to use the jet? Does that also raise an issue of conflict of interest? I think we need to elevate the discourse. We need not come on a platform like this and quote legal principles and turn it on their head. Now you see, what Aaron and Jato are doing is indicting their own government that started this process.
I don't understand.
You see, but for the no objection granted by Abu Jinapo, by this whole thing wouldn't have proceeded if the government had not given, and in fact, if you read paragraph 3 of the letter, the MPP government vowed for the technical capacity and operational competence of Ibrahim Mahama. Read paragraph 3 of that letter. So I think you guys, you don't need to compare apples with oranges. Ibrahim Mahama is a private businessman. He's been doing business for the past 30 years. He is different and distinct from his brother, who is the president. This is completely different from Ken Ofori-Atta, who was the brother of the president, was made finance minister, and his companies, Reverend Ogwami, who was working with Databank, was made chairman of SEC. So they took over the financial sector, and after that, SIC, which is a state insurance company, all their deals started going to their enterprise insurance. If you raise this issue of conflict and you want to equalize with this Ibrahim Mahama, I think is very unfortunate.
3 minutes for you too, Mr. Aaron. Yes, sir.
If you read Psalm 26,
the Bible is in now.
The Bible.
Please let me go. Let me go.
I do not.
Please.
I do not sit with the deceitful.
I give him 3 minutes.
I do not sit with the deceitful. Nor do I associate. He says 26, 4-5. I do not sit with the deceitful, nor do I associate with hypocrites. I abhor the assembly of evildoers and refuse to sit with the wicked. Today, after this program, I'm going to ask... Relax. I didn't come here to talk about Ken Ofori-Atta. You are a hypocrite when you look at this situation and tell me that I'm ignorant of the position of the law I am stating. When you mention Article 284, it mentioned that when a public officer is the president, a private citizen...
Is the president engaged in
Please, the president who appointed the Minister of State in charge of Lands Ministry is now... the president is now granting that access of his brother using his brother's presidential jet, paying all these costs, and you tell me that he's a president, that the president started using the presidential jet from 2020. So Ibrahim Mahama also has security officers at EMP. Go and tell Ibrahim Mahama that the state security should sit down for security officers of EMP should take over. We are now speaking to clear issues of conflict of interest, and you tell me that when Ken Ofori-Atta is own is a locus classicus. Just for you to know, you are a lawyer. You should appreciate that when we say locus classicus, because it is one the court has determined. There is no court in this country or of competent jurisdiction that has spoken against conflict of interest with regards to Ken Ofori-Atta. Now to Solo, we mentioned to you that we are not against a Ghanaian taking over the business. And I mentioned to you that even when you go to court, there are two distinct issues you are dealing with. You deal with the substantive matter and the procedural matter. And I'm saying that in this regard, there is procedural impropriety on the side of granting EMP this license or this lease. What are you telling me? Today, on the 14th of April, 2025, your own government, led by the governor, published a document that Data Bank is credible to participate in certain bond activities. You are telling me that EMP started working in 1997. Do you know when Enterprise started working? Why do we do this to ourselves? We are raising questions on procedural matters. Ask yourself, what is the interest of Ibrahim Mahama that somebody becomes a president of the state? The state pays for everything of the president. The state even exempts the president from paying tax. You go ahead to give your presidential jet, pay for all the landing sites, the parking space and others, and tomorrow you are given 7 days that you should tender in a certain for a lease, and you get it within a shorter period, and we are mentioning this, and you want to tell the whole country that there is no conflict of interest. Excuse me, when you come and you are talking about law issues and matters of legality, you should understand that you don't even attack the person of another one. You sit here, you tell me that I'm ignorant about the law. When you read Article 284, we are talking of a public officer. And this is Ibrahim Mahama. Ibrahim Mahama's brother is the president who is a public officer who has appointed a minister of state. And you make a warped logical argument, telling us that when Ibrahim Mahama gave his presidential his jet to Asante Hene, what happened? When Solo sits here and gives me his car, what would the state even talk about? We are talking about a president who is using his brother's jet, and tomorrow the president is granting access. Roland, today when you go to town, they are saying that the president's family has been a family of minds and technology. Because if you go into I'm telling you, it is in town. Go on TikTok. They are saying that the president's family is into minds and technology. The president's brother, Alfred Mahama, is grabbing mining concessions in Fantisubriso. Why should one family, from Alfred Mahama to Ibrahim Mahama, why are the minds of this country go to President Mahama's family? We are talking about this. Are you able to respond to Alfred Mahama's issues? Excuse us.
This is a big platform. You see, Alfred Mahama's name has been mentioned without any iota of evidence.
I'm coming to
So you see, yes, that's why I say I'm coming. No, 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds.
Please.
Just 30 seconds. No. But you as a student of lawyer, you don't. As a student of law, you don't know that publication of defamatory content is self-defamation. So if Ezra has published a defamatory content, you as a student of law,
all on him.
Even if your source is defamatory.
We are not binding in any way. All right, please accord Dr. Jebunte Zato his 3 minutes. Please, 3 minutes for you, sir.
Thank you very much. In my submission, I was very clear. I didn't throw conflict of interest out like that. I defined it. And I said I was talking about potential and or perceived conflict of interest. That the way it looks matters. That the process matters. That was what I said. So if you want to be that the way it looks, the way it is that, and that as a student of ethics and morality, we care about how it looks too. We care about the process too. I just want to make that very clear. And that when you look at it from that ethical or moral perspectives, then you raise these issues. Ethics matter, morality matters, good governance matter, and they should matter in how we conduct our businesses in government. Two. Now that engineers and planners will take over this thing, I have a humble plea. I hope they don't become one of those companies that just mine the gold and just ship it out. Please, engineers and planners, can you consider establishing a smelter? Is it a gold smelter in Ghana? Can you consider keeping the gold here so that we don't just continue with that Gogisbeck economy policy where we just take the raw materials and export?
You mean a refinery? Or?
Sorry, refinery. I meant the refinery. Can we do that? Can we add value to the gold? Because now we have to go there. We need to move a notch up. It's not only enough for local companies to acquire this then let's also see that we add value to them. So I will plead that whatever we can do to make sure that the gold that we are mining, that we don't just ship it to Dubai, we don't just ship it to India, where they are turned into gold products, and then Dubai now becomes a destination for gold tourism, that we can do that in Ghana here. And I also hope that the Mineral Commission, boss, you are here, is it possible for you to add as a condition or a precondition for giving these mines that people at least refine a percentage of them, so that it will keep more jobs and more revenue? That's something I want to see. But finally, we conclude about this. If we are encouraging Ghanaians to own these businesses, then that interface between those Ghanaian businesses and the politicians or the policymakers, it will always clash. We have to, as a country, then let's rise above that debate to then say that because this interface will clash, because somebody knows somebody. If Solomon is made a managing director and I come there, he's probably going to say, save Zato very well. You do that, right? If not, we have a problem. That interface exists. Look, in all countries all over the world, politicians or policymakers create conditions for local businesses to thrive.
Like Dangote.
In fact, it's even bigger in the United States of America and all over the place. In fact, it is one of the duties and responsibilities of politicians to do that. Of the state. That is why sometimes when you see in the US they call it a platform, and they call it manifesto, they tell you that in the mining sector we will do this for local mining companies. Let's begin to demystify this thing and say that if that will happen, then business and their family.
From what you are saying so far, as you conclude, you are not against this.
No, that was how I even began in the first place. No.
That's why.
That was how.
Thank you very much.
Let me.
No. Oh, please.
Yes. So I just wanted to say that that interaction will continue, and the more it continues, the more this friction between families and policymakers. In fact, sometimes between families and regulators. Sometimes it can be a direct regulator, because people are coming out of that business. When it happens, let's pause and let's not use a big brand to just brand everybody as being a thief or corrupt. Because when we do that, and if these businesses fail, real Ghanaians lose their jobs, their houses, their insurance, and that's not good.
Yeah, a very unifying conclusion he draws there. And then also also puts in the perspective that well, we always have clashes, but at the end of the day, the national objective should be key, and the state should be the promoter. Then I have to ask you to conclude in that 3 minutes. As MPP, NDC, and all that, and you remain in the middle.
United Party. UB is in the middle.
United Party. Yes. They want to have MPs and things the next election. That's their objective. They are a political party. But at the end of the day, their point of argument are always making sure they are more nationalistic and all that. And they're not throwing jabs at each other. What would you say that should be the key take away for the ordinary Ghanaian? That EMP has had the experience, and so if the opportunity is there, it should be given, and why due consideration should be made in the national interest, and not talk about jets, presidents, and all that.
So Kwame Nkrumah at the Polo Ground said the black man was capable of what? Managing his own affairs. It's just a reinvention of that statement made by the founding father of the country. We must have confidence in the Ghanaian, that the Ghanaian is able to manage our resources. In that regard, I am for. I don't care about who Ibrahim Mahama is, who, so far as he's a Ghanaian going to employ Ghanaians, that is it. Simplicity. And I believe that we must all go in that direction. This whole debate was only introduced into the system by our brothers from the New Patriotic Party. They have seen that it's not a popular position, and I'm very happy that at the end of the day, when my brother Jabunji Zato took a deep breath, he realized that his initial position was untenable, and that he had to make a 360-degree turnabout to concede that was not a nationalistic position. In that same vein of trying to be reconciliatory, I believe that the right thing is, together with Aaron, is to apologize to Mr. Iroko for impugning his integrity. It matters to me a lot, because we were sitting right here with him, and at the end of the day, I cannot believe for a moment that we will leave this set thinking that he, together with his team of Ghanaians who have no political colorization, would be classified as people that leaked information to EMP as against the Heath Goldface Limited. Again, we have been talking about the jet. It's important. History is very important so that the unborn generation one day will listen to us and know where we are coming from.
Jata jet.
Let us put it on record that it's not as though the country Ghana has a jet, a functioning jet now.
We do. It's not functioning. Are you better knowledgeable than the foreign affairs minister?
Pristine condition.
Pristine. You know what is pristine?
He just came back from France for repairs. What is the problem with it?
Roland, it is even sad that he said that when one of the engines is off, it can wait. Put him in. Put the foreign minister in.
Why is it that when Solo is talking, the two of you gang up against
him? No, it's not the two of you. But he ganged up on me when I was talking. That's why I'm just
that is my candid observation.
Opposition fighting opposition.
How? He is working with you.
How?
He's working with you. He's working with you.
Aaron, please.
Why we need to work with the government? First of all, you see that the premise of even politics is wrong.
Please, you were on it.
The government of the day must be held by all interested parties.
Yes.
The mere fact that you are an opposition party, you are not doing so. Because if you were doing so, you would not tell me. You just said a while ago that why must the president not rent a jet, but rather go with his brother's jet for free? That was the import of your statement.
I never said that.
Which represents the reason why, as a country, at a point, we have to resort to what we call DDEP. Giving haircuts to all manner of elderly people, causing the former Chief Justice to even go on demonstration because you were spending recklessly. If you had an opportunity or alternative to a jet, you rather opt for renting expensive jets. Again, it's a procedural. The whole transaction is wrong. He has not been able to point a single flaw in the. That is why I was telling them to apologize to Mr. Ayoko. Because if you have no issue with the procedure, you have not been able to identify any flaws or errors in the procedure, why do you then make noise of it? It's not good, it's not fair. The only reason why this noise is coming out is because it's Ibrahim Mahama. But let me give this humble advice to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. He must be watching his friends in the MPP.
Yeah.
Those that have been coming a lot. He originally allied with the MPP.
Been going to his house.
He originally. I've never been to. I don't even know his house.
Consultant for years.
If you have,
so you should watch his friends in the MPP.
If there is any job at the presidency, I'll rush there and go and take. You think I'm those people? I'm a businessman for Christ's sake, and nobody can use politics to condone me. But what I'm saying is that Ibrahim Mahama must not be receiving MPP fanatics clandestinely and be sorting them out only for them to come as a group. Zato and Aaron, you come and call him out. He has been sorting you before. And also financing the new patriotic party.
You are allowing
if any right, you are allowing
you are allowing
They said they are not part of those.
That is what they have been doing.
There is no MPP person going there, please.
Hey, you want to spoil people's business?
Please.
It's good that you spoil people's business.
Okay, so you want to make a last point?
It's good.
It's good.
Again, we have to tell you we are coming to you live, and this edition of TV3 Newday Big Issues brought to you live at 4 Points by Sheraton, right here in Accra. They are sponsoring this for us.
I want to say that the bidding process is about the most transparent way by which a human right can be given, as opposed to the first come first serve principle. So the fact that this is the first time ever a minister is attempting or has tried to use the provision in the law should not be lost on anybody. Now, as a matter of fact, GATI, EITI are all calling for more of this to be done. Yeah. Because it's more transparent. The rules are clear. The rules of the game are clear before you enter the field. So, and this are provided for in the law. So our act should be gauged against what the requirements of the law are and whether we made them or not.
Yeah.
You mentioned the issue of refinery and all that. As a matter of fact, in the law, when the minister is granting a mineral rights or a money list, there are certain key things that must be there. And the law also says, and any other thing he might want to add. I can assure you that in view of the government program of trying to ensure that we refine most of our products here, all those may found provision in the money list that will be signed eventually going forward.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I have a couple of messages on our stream, and I want to please respectfully also accord them the respect for them also giving us 3,100 at some point in time, 3,200 people watching us live on Facebook, more thousands of others across the other social media platforms. And so Well, so this one is coming from Michael Wazinga, who says that please ask Dr. Zato, is Ibrahim Mahama the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources? As Ken Oforiatta was the Minister of Finance. And then Solomon Kobe says that Dr. Zato's conclusion is very good. That's how it should be. And his criticism also should be taken on board as well. Okay. So, so the Prince Nani Ayok, how is said, you see how the MPP guy is sweating. The sweat will be more than before, even though the 4 points at Sheraton has air conditioning in the room. Okay, and then so more messages coming through, and then also on our WhatsApp console we have a couple of messages. Some of you sending me, so I'll just read a couple out. I see Felix, I see your message. I want the MPP man to tell Ghanaians if President Mahama only realizes that Ibrahim is his brother when he sits in his jet. Why are they arguing like without the jet? President Mahama forgets Ibrahim is also his blood, just like Nana Dankwe Kufuor does not forget that the former finance minister Ken Oforiatta is also his blood. And kindly ask Dr. Zato if Ibrahim Mahama formed EMP just after the year 2024 election to bid for the Daman mine, of which he has been a subcontractor, or it is that he's been working in the industry since the time of Rollins. And this one also is coming from Godfred Kwame Poku, Asing Udumase. I see Courage also sending us a message. Azilis Dwayne says, as usual, just look at this. Aaron mentioning Alfred Ibrahim Mahama. If he's sued, he'll come running his mouth and saying that he's being targeted. Why do we do this to ourselves? Zilis Dwayne from the UK. Maxwell Pabli also says that my lecturer always tells me anytime he meets us in class that as communicators, we communicate to make meaning and not just to communicate. And that's for Maxwell Pabli. J. Mensan says that if Ken Oforiatta and his actions as finance minister, because he's a relative of the president, smacks or is influenced by conflict of interest. And this one also is conflict of interest. The only difference is that Ibrahim Mahama is not a minister, is not in government. All right. And then Kwesi Mensah is watching us from Albany, New York. If Ken Oforiatta knows that he's innocent for 8 years, he should quickly return to Ghana. In fact, Ibrahim Mahama should send his jet so that they bundle him in and comes back to Ghana.
Good one.
Anyway, and thank you also for watching. I see Mr. Samuel also sends messages. Why was Databank giving in all the Eurobonds when Ken was a finance minister, giving the House of Rights, even though there were other competitors, two of them actually, in addition to do the bonds, and then the commissions accruing. Okay, so again, the subject of Ken Oforiatta, conflict of interest, etc. Dr. Felix Nyako, I see money, need money. And then also all of you. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. How have you seen the ambience here at Sheraton?
I just ask
just 1 minute.
Can they give us a room each? At least we deserve it. So that next time we can tell them how good the facility. You have been to week business will be good. Just one night. What?
No. He says that he wants the relaxation.
I mean relaxation, so that I can see, so that I can see how it is. One room with access to the facilities.
In the position you want to be this comfortable, you will not go to Sisala West to go and take care of the party.
Where's your hometown?
I'm from Equiancy.
From
Equiancy.
The last time you mentioned, which constituency is that? Brim. And I asked you whether you be contesting, whether you be contesting, whether you be contesting, Alan Pine, I asked whether you be contesting.
I want to wake up next week Wednesday in Sheraton. At least enjoy it. I'm leaving here to go and pick a trotro, and I'm going to pay over 15% increase from this government. And my brothers who are teachers have
what do we do next?
For 16 months. You are not interested.
For 16 months.
I'm fighting for all.
And you don't want me to enjoy it.
So next week, you don't travel in traffic to come to
my cousin who is a teacher, Anne-Marie, has not been paid. And you don't want me to enjoy small here in Sheraton.
So all right. Okay. All right. It's your birthday today. That is Kwesi Bamboache, Tree Crop Development Authority. I think I see your office in East Legon, getting to Adrian or thereabout. Okay. 4 points by Sheraton Airport, Accra. They are sponsoring us today. So great hotel, ambience. And I coined and then adopted a word today. Exquisite. Charlie, you come here. You come here. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Jabute Zato. Solomon, thank you. Ron, thank you. And then Lawyer Abbas, thank you as well. And then Lawyer Europe from the Minerals Commission, thank you as well. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you more perspective. We have sports, we have other things also. Your latest birthdays, all right here.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like
It's great to have you,
Thank
as
you.
always. And
Yeah.
you came back on the morning of the great defeat. One match played in 2 days. And I need to make a declaration before we proceed. I need to make a declaration to Samatex that I am an affiliate supporter and fan of Samatex FC.
You know the game you are playing that I like. Your enemy's enemy is my friend.
It's my friend.
And someone says
affiliate.
this was a GPO, 24-hour economy GPO. Because it was played over 2 days.
And I just need to make this declaration. I'm an affiliate supporter of Samatex. I need one of their PE pants. Or their
I'm
jerseys,
sure Mr.
sorry.
Nsiche is watching this morning.
I need one of their jerseys.
And he'll be extremely proud of what you
This
are
morning.
saying. But it was a tough one for
Look
Portugal.
at that.
Tough one for them.
Look at that.
And it doesn't bode well because this weekend, you know where they are going.
Mediama.
To Takwa. Another tough ground. So they needed to win this game.
At home. Mediama is playing at home.
Mediama is playing in Takwa.
And you know how their people come out to the stadium to support.
Tickets are already being sold.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
On Sunday it will be full. It will be live on TV3, so people will get to watch the game. Yeah.
But when they are playing away, they don't wear the funeral jersey, right?
I mean, they don't wear the
They don't wear the
red.
funeral because you know that jersey. that you know the fact that you are wearing a funeral jersey to play a match.
Nah.
First of all, it gets in the way.
Let the Kotoko fans wallow in their pain this morning. You have this salt to injury, and I'm sure they will not like it.
Oh, but you know they are besties.
Yeah, I know. I interviewed a German who actually said he's a Kotoko fan.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So the GPL, we're looking forward to
games this weekend.
Weekend's games.
Yeah,
and aside
that will be
Kotoko and Mediama, who else is playing?
Well, you know, Heartofok will be playing Vision, and we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the Black Stars because that is on the agenda. That is the biggest story now. We are looking for a coach. You have any name that you can
Nora
bring to the table? Nora is with the Zambian women's team, but two names have emerged as the front runners.
Yeah.
Both of them are Portuguese. Paulo Bento, former manager of the Portuguese national team, and Carlos Queiroz. I mean, he's also coached the Portuguese national team before, but he's best known to be the assistant coach of Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, where they won a lot together. Yesterday, the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association held a meeting. It was an emergency meeting because we have barely some 60 days to the start of the World Cup, and we need a coach before we go for the World Cup. So, two names have come out, and we are likely to have one of them leading our lines. Recently, Carlos Queiroz resigned as the coach of Oman. He has a very good track record. I mean, the first manager or the first coach to qualify Iran to the World Cup on 3 consecutive occasions. So he has the experience when it comes to the World Cup. He's been in Africa before. He knows the African terrain. Bento as well knows the African terrain, being with Egypt and all that. So these two managers come with a lot of experience, and we are hopeful that any of them that is chosen to lead us would actually make an impact at the World Cup. It's not that easy. So you look at Paulo Bento's managerial career. He has been with Sporting CP before. With the youth side, then he was confirmed the first team coach in 2005 to 2009. He's been with the Portuguese national team, Cruzeiro in Brazil as well, Olympiacos and Lifan in China. Then he came to South Korea and recently was with the United Arab Emirates. So he also comes with a lot of experience, and he's one person that many are saying could take the job. Then Carlos Queiroz, as he is best known to be the assistant coach of Manchester United. Between 2004 and 2008, he chalked a lot of success together with Sir Alex Ferguson. He's been at Real Madrid, he's been with Portugal. As I said, he's the first manager to qualify Iran to 3 consecutive World Cups. So both managers come with a lot of experience, and as it stands, it would be a short fix to see us go to the World Cup. And any of them can do a good job. We are just hoping that the announcement will come soon so that everyone will know where we are going.
So what's the next stage? Are they going to be interviewed? On what basis?
Well, it looks like the interview process is currently ongoing. We were told that about 600 coaches applied for the job. 600 when Otto Addo resigned. About 600 coaches applied for the job. So
is Ghana such a big deal?
It's a big deal
on
the African continent. World football, we are a big deal. I mean, we've tracked a lot of successes, despite the fact that in recent times we've not been good enough.
we are a big deal on the African continent. When you mention top 5 African nations in the past, Ghana would be in there, even though the rankings say otherwise. Now we are 14th on the African continent. But what we did in 2006, 2010, especially in South Africa, everyone wants to coach Ghana. Even Jose Mourinho would love to coach Ghana. He said it before that, I mean, Ghana is a place that Mike Listen brought him. He saw how the people live, and one day he would love to be in the country. So it's a big deal. If you're coaching Ghana, it's huge on your CV. No wonder 600 people applied for the job.
And none of them was Ghanaian.
Well, we've not been given the breakdown, but definitely we know that Ghanaians would apply as well.
Well, let's go to the Champions League now, where Arsenal
Champions League, It looks like the more we keep doubting us now that they would qualify or they would go to the next stage of the Champions League, they prove us wrong. Yesterday they actually beat Arsenal there to qualify.
So this was a revenge match.
So history is there. It doesn't mean that this tie is over. Sporting can still come back. So Arsenal need to be wary. But it was Kai Havertz that gave them the needed win, which they will take back to the Emirates, and will be full of confidence knowing that a win in England would mean that they qualify to the semi-final, which would be huge for us. And last season they got to the semi-final. They would want to get to the semi-final again. But that was not the only game played. The biggest one was at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Biggest one.
It was Real Madrid that came up against Bayern Munich. Now, prior to the game, Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane had been injured for some time, so he was a doubt for the game. We don't know what happened. Then Bayern Munich chiefs came out to say that, he's fine, he's been training. We've made sure that he'll play the game. And definitely we knew he was going to be, as CP managed to get one for Real Madrid. So it means that there's still hope that next week Real Madrid will have to travel to the Allianz Arena in Germany to see if they can overturn the scoreline. But there are games to play today. Before that, these are the results. Real Madrid losing at home to Bayern Munich, and Sporting CP also losing to Arsenal by a goal to 0. But there are games today to play as well. We know that Barcelona would be in action, and they are coming up against Atletico Madrid. It's not going to be an easy one for them, but one of the biggest games that we are all looking forward tonight is Paris Saint-Germain at the Parc des Princes. They are coming up against Liverpool. It's a game.
Who are you rooting for?
Well, for some funny reason, my head says that
Liverpool.
My head says that Liverpool will do a good job. My heart says that PSG are too strong for Liverpool.
We'll see about that. But soon after the show this morning on Sports Daily, we're going to be talking to TJ.
Of course, so T would be breaking down the Black Stars managerial role, who could take the job. I mean, just when Otuado was sacked 3 days ago, we saw Kwesi Appiah arrive at the Kotoka International Airport. Cameras were following him all over. People.
Coincidence?
Yeah, I feel it's a coincidence because he is the head coach of the Sudanese national team. But other people are rooting for him. They feel that a Ghanaian should take over the job as it stands. But
isn't that what we said and brought Otu?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm indifferent when it comes to the Black Star managerial role, whether an expatriate or a Ghanaian. I just want someone that can do the job. And if you feel Paulo Bento or Carlos Queiroz can do the job, why not give it to them? If Kwesi Appiah is the man, then the executive council can sit.
I guess we wait and see. Thank you so much for bringing us the news. With regards to sports, we look forward to listening to you on Sports Daily.
And a lot of Kotoko fans say that hi this morning.
They are my best.
They just say hi.
My Kotoko fans.
They've been asking of you at the Barbera Stadium anytime
I won't go there. but
someone also wants to see you at Menchia. He says you should come around Menchia and say hi to him.
Well, that can be arranged.
Of course.
All right. Well, I see you brought your bike and your helmet. You're going to ride back to the TV3. So we will be looking forward to seeing you on Sports Daily in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. We are going to still be here at the 4 Points by Sheraton Accra Airport Hotel, where we're having a very, very beautiful morning. I should say the ambiance is beautiful. It's exquisite. And Beatrice had 3 rounds of breakfast already. The food is good. So you should stop by here and come spend some quality time by yourself, for business, with family, or, your special someone. When we come back, we'll get to explore the hotel a bit. Stay tuned. This is TV3 Newday.
Non, parce que la population ne parle pas français.
Please don't do that.
Donc, on va continuer en anglais.
On va continuer en anglais, mais on chantait encore.
Plaisir.
Cette fois-ci en direct.
C'est le plaisir de vous avoir ici. Enchanté.
I guess I should say enchanté too.
Voilà, exactement.
It's great to meet and hang out with you. This is my first time here at 4 Points.
Yes.
And so far, I love it.
Love it. We all do.
100% love it. And I think the last few minutes I've been on air talking about the hotel. I've gotten a few questions in my inbox about where is the hotel, when did it open, how long has it been in Ghana for? There are lots of questions. So you tell us about 4 Points by Sheraton.
4 Points by Sheraton Accra opened 3 months ago.
Okay.
We are in a different phase. We're doing phase 1 right now, which is the opening of the first 100 rooms.
Okay.
And the restaurant, and the lounge, and the terrace that's outside. And once this part is completed, we already started to work on phase 2, which is an extra 99 rooms.
Okay.
So the hotel will be complete with 199 rooms.
That's an interesting number.
Yeah.
199. Why not 200?
Well, the secret is that we planned for 200, but we sacrificed one of the rooms to make a duplex.
Oh, a duplex.
A duplex suite.
Oh, a
lovely.
duplex.
Yes.
So there'll be 198
99.
rooms and one duplex.
199, exactly.
Okay, so
with the
199.
duplex. Exactly.
Right. And what is the name of this area? Where is this hotel located?
We're near the airport.
Okay.
Having been in Ghana for a month and a half, I'm quite new, so if I try to say the name of the street, I might lose
Well,
the people
it's
coming.
very close to the airport. I
Yes.
think that's an important point to note.
Yes.
If you fly in, it's just about 7 minutes from the
7
airport.
minutes, and-
Actually,
Yeah.
about
Or
5
less.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or less
Exactly.
from the Kotoka International Airport. And so far, what would you say is the one thing about this hotel which stands out?
The personnel, the staff.
Okay.
We are very lucky to be here in Ghana because I discovered that the employee that we have here, and in general in Ghana, I've been around a little bit outside, people are very gentle. And the smile is like a national product.
That's a sweet thing to
Yeah,
say. The
really.
smile is like a national product.
And it's refreshing because in some countries, you have to teach people how to be welcoming. And this is something that I don't have to do here.
Oh.
People are welcoming.
Yeah.
So-
I agree. When I walked in, I've had at least 4 people come up to me to ask me if we need anything. So that's
And
nice.
it's very charming is the
And
the
it's very
fact-
genuine.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's genuine.
Yeah.
And they always say please at the end of their sentence. which
Well,
is-
yes, we're raised to do that.
Yes.
We
And
say
I-
please and thank you.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I understand was the translation from the language to English.
Yeah.
But we're looking for the street. So the street is First Century Street, Accra. If you're looking forward to joining us right here, it's First Century Street, Accra. And like you heard Mr. Philippe Bayo say, who is the general manager of this hotel, we're not too far from the airport, just about between 4 and 5 minutes.
Exactly.
But I realized that, I mean, over here, the design is unique. I climbed upstairs. Now I was saying earlier that I went for 3 rounds of breakfast.
Yes.
I went upstairs where we had the buffet, the breakfast buffet, and the design as well is very unique. If you can tell us really why you've chosen to give us these exquisite, the word we've been using since morning, designs at different corners of this beautiful hotel.
I think it was important from the start to design this hotel to be clear with the light, taking advantage of the sun that we have here in the country, and to have this feeling of openness. And this is what the designer focused on. That's why when you go upstairs in the restaurant, you'll see that it's very spacious.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly the fact that there is a lot of space. It's just the fact that it's designed in a way that it gives you the sense of space. You have to know also that we have a phase 3 that will be completed, which include a lounge for the VIPs.
Okay.
It includes a beauty salon.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And on the 15th floor, we'll open the swimming pool and the pool bar and the gastronomic restaurant.
On the 5th floor.
15th floor.
15th floor.
Yeah,
so
that
you'll be
sounds really
swimming
good.
up there and seeing the whole
Open
world.
the
Yeah,
view
that sounds
of
really good.
Accra.
Oh, wow.
That sounds really good.
Yes.
And for a hotel that's smack in the middle of the city, it sort of feels like out of town. Like when you walk in here, it feels like you're out of town. So what
Exactly.
I was saying earlier that I felt like I was on vacation.
Yes.
Because normally when you're in Accra, you know, you can feel the pressure of Accra like you're in Accra.
Yes.
But here it's sort of on the main road, but away from the noise.
That's true.
And all the hustle and bustle of the city center. So that's nice. Now, we have a few celebrations coming up. We've got Mother's Day coming up. I think, well, Mother's Day is the first. Next, in a couple of Sundays.
Yes.
Do you have any special events or
Yes,
programs
so
here?
to know that
we
we're
can
doing
attend?
a brunch on every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Oh, okay.
And the brunch for Mother's Day will be a special brunch for mothers. Okay. So yes, we do have events. We do a lot of promotion right now, and we are very active on social media with those promotions.
Okay. So Sunday is Sunday brunch. Are there any other activities that happen?
Well, we do happy hour every day.
Happy hour.
Every day.
Every day.
What time is that?
From 5 to 7.
Wow. What's
Happy
the
hour is
rationale
every
behind
day.
that?
Okay.
The rationale behind that is to say that you should be happy every day.
Every day. and what happens during happy hour
Happy
here?
hour is, you know, buy one get one free or half price on the consumption.
Half price.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
it's basically buy one get one free. Basically
From 5 p.m.
From 5 to 7.
to 7 p.m.
And it's every day?
It's every day, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's right here in this lounge.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I will welcome anybody to come and join us.
Okay.
For happy hour, half
for
price.
Happy hours.
All right. Now, talk to us about your accommodation, the rooms here. What do we need to know?
Well, the room are quite spacious. I think you did visit the rooms. We have king size, of course, twins. We have suites. And of course, on the second phase, we will have the presidential suite.
Presidential suite.
Yes.
Wow.
That will be the key to our property.
Okay.
Because, of course, it's the famous duplex.
Okay.
So, yes.
All right.
So we have all kind of rooms, being from people who wants to have family or couples who just want to have a large king bed. The bedding is special.
Okay.
It's a special bedding. I always say it's easy to get in, very hard to get out.
Yes, and earlier you were talking to us about the special program you have for Mother's Day. Are there any mini programs, quote unquote, every day ahead, as in counting down to the Mother's Day activities that people should look forward to?
We do plan ahead all the events for the year. Okay, so it would be very difficult for me to express exactly what's on, and it's with sales and marketing that takes care of these little things. But yes, we do plan for every special events. Mother's Day being one, we just did Easter. We did the Easter buffet on Sunday, and so on. So yes, we are planning for events for each possible occasions.
Okay.
Awesome. Can you talk to us about pricing?
Look, we're a mid-range property. Of course, if you look around Accra, you have other companies or other properties such as Kipensky and so on. They are on the higher end. Our pricing is mid-range.
Okay. So it's affordable?
It's affordable.
I will not have to break the bank to spend a weekend here.
No.
Okay.
You can if you want. I don't mind. I always welcome extra money.
Yeah, but I don't have to.
But
I can
you don't
afford
have to,
it.
and we're a property that's mixed between, we have a lot of corporate business.
Okay.
And on the weekend we have a lot of couples because we run a special for the couples, especially 10% off the room rate on weekends.
Okay.
So it attracts a lot of couples that wants to come and spend the weekend here with us. And this is
awesome. Let me just return to food, because one of the best things you want to experience when you go to any hotel is food, when you're having to have breakfast, lunch and supper in here. And this morning when we spoke to the head of the chefs, he talked to us about some of the unique stuff you do. We just finished with Ghana Month, which is the month of March. Right. But really in the month of April and the months ahead, what kind of unique foods, mixed with the Ghanaian stuff, should we expect for those of us who want to work in here any day?
So with the chef, we're working on changing again the menus, by the way. And the idea is always to include Ghanaian food. Okay. And we're also thinking of doing maybe a fusion between Ghanaian and maybe South African, or working on that subject. But it is important for us to have a Ghanaian national entity, because of all the expatriates coming here. We have people from all kind of all countries, so we want them to discover also the Ghanaian culinary art. And for that, the chef is focusing on this.
Wow. Amazing. And you've had the food, so you should testify. She's had 3 rounds of breakfast this morning.
She had 3 breakfasts.
Three rounds.
No, I actually had one. Nah. Anyway, but please give us your last word. Actually, let me say that the breakfast was great. Buffet, I mean, different kinds of things. I mean, just come and witness it and you get to understand what I'm trying to talk to you about. You even have your popular kusiani meku here.
No kidding. Yes. For breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah, for breakfast.
Okay, that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
that's nice.
Yes, please share with us your final thoughts.
My final thought is this is a new property that needs to be discovered. I can say that my team worked together as one to make this property a successful story. It's also part of the Accra society. And so we're very lucky to have been able to attract the people from different side of the society here to come and visit and discover, and they're always surprised. You know, they say, okay, 4 points, and when they see the property, they say, wow, it's really amazing what you did with the place. So we're open. We want to welcome everybody. If you come, you definitely will see me in the lobby. I'm there most of the time on the restaurant. I love to meet with my guests. I love to talk with them to see where they're from. And I'm always very close to my team.
Wow, thank you so much. And
My
we've
pleasure.
enjoyed.
It's been lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Merci.
De rien. Ah, yes, yes. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And our conversation with Monsieur Philippe Bayou, who is the general manager of 4 Point by Sheraton Accra Hotel, right? Thank you so much for being with us now.
Yes, that'll be all for now. And if you're wondering if you can stop by here, you can do that anytime. Stop by this hotel anytime. 4 Points by Sheraton Airport Accra Hotel. They are open. It's a new hotel, so everything is mint fresh. In fact, when you walk in here, you smell the freshness of this place. The food is great. The rooms are lovely. We already have 100 rooms ready. And they're open to corporate businesses, families. If you want to come alone or with a special someone, you're welcome to do so. It's smack in the middle of the city, very close to the airport. And somehow it's very quiet and peaceful here. And I would 10 over 10 recommend it to you if you're looking for a place to go and just relax, wind down, have some peace and quiet to do the things that you need to do. You're still watching TV3 Newday. We're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we just might have some birthdays for you. Oh, we have to say goodbye. We have to say goodbye. That's our time.
Goodbye for now.
Yeah, we have to say goodbye already. Thank you so much for watching the show and for coming with us all the way here to 4 Points by Sheraton Airport Accra Hotel, where we have had a very beautiful
It's been a wonderful morning.
Yes.
It started with the rains, so it's even made it much better for us. Very calm, and like you rightly said, great environment, calm as well. You wouldn't even feel that you're in the middle of the city.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we were here, Nashoko here with me, my colleague Roland Walker also was here earlier, and of course to the crew, Koko, to Sal, to God knows, to Shadrakabe, everybody. I mean, solid team with us here, bringing you this fantastic view of this hotel. So walk in anytime and enjoy everything that we've got here. My name is Beatrice Edu. Together with the team, we say thank you so much for joining us.